There you go.
Were y'all part of the D Nice session last night?
Yeah. Okay. Let's start right there. So, Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper,
I am LG.
and we got Lex Bubble in the room.
I guess I need to come up with a cool tag now. It's like, LG sitting there, no IG LG, and then I'm Monty Draper. It's like,
We got Young Maki in the room.
I mean, whenever you like, you can present that in the next one if you want,
I'll work on it.
or by the end of this one if you want too. You might want to break it out on this one.
Nah,
Too
Okay,
soon.
okay.
Too
I'm
soon.
not that fresh.
All right.
My brother Push is here. Damn, it's crazy when you have friends that have known you longer than you've been alive, type shit. Like that's a different type of relationship because it's only you deal. Sudi. But I mean, my boy Antoine. Like it's a handful of cats that aren't blood that have been rocking for a really long time. That hits different. So it's dope, man. Happy quarantine to everybody. Hope that everyone is safe and taking precaution and being mindful of the elderly and the sick, those with not so strong immune systems.
You trying to say something, Maki?
He's like, nah, nigga, I don't want to be on the mic. Fuck, you got cameras. This is the dope dog, nigga. He from the dope era, nigga. Don't be putting no cameras in my nigga face.
Bro, the reaction though.
G, how have you been?
Really got bodies, bro. That's nuts.
How have you been? You've been managing the quarantine. It's been dope watching you provide information. You've been very helpful with the family, provide information.
Most definitely.
And taking the proper steps to, stay healthy, stay fit, dietary shit. So talk to us, talk to the people, talk to the show about what you had up, man.
No, just continuously training mind, body, soul. I think that's like the most important thing during these times. Funny thing, I watched The Invisible Man last night, which is a really dope film. Like it's hella cool. They've tried to do it different times throughout the years. If you think about the like Kevin Bacon one.
Mm-hmm. That's
also,
one they've been trying to get off.
yeah,
The book is so
character,
incredible.
Yeah, there's a character from like the comics and stuff like that, so they've been trying to figure out how to get it right. But this one had a cool like plot to it, you know what I mean? And it really put into context people who go through a shit ton of things, a load of trauma and just problems, man, just left and right. That puts you into a space where you're considered to be weak, but as long as during those weak times you don't understand that you're constantly putting things in your subconscious that you're learning, and until you can eventually basically overthrow your oppressor. It was what I got out of that idea. It was hella cool because about it, and you got to watch the film, but. I think about that a lot in times like this where people are kind of overwhelmed, but you just gotta bode your time. You know what I mean? Like just choose and make with your time what you can.
Yeah.
And from there, bro, like I think we all come out of this way stronger than we are right now, and where we think we could possibly be. So yeah.
Maki, come here. Hey, come on. You gotta relax. Niggas is recording, cuz. Appreciate you holding down the fort. Killer get on you, nigga. In case any niggas get frisky and want to run up in here, nigga. And Maki will get on you. He won't really, but it sounds cool. And he be on it like a real guard dog, and he not.
Hey, man, whatever you can do to deter somebody, bro. That's it.
It's. I posted yesterday or early this morning about just feeling sort of lost and like stuck on loop a little bit, just because everything was like such a strong pivot. Like I'm not one that isn't used to pivoting. Like pivoting is pretty normal for us, but I think how the pivot was affecting everyone around us was having more of an impact, because then you're sharing space that's normally left for you with people who aren't used to being quote unquote quarantined or working from home or whatever that is, and like knowing how to occupy. So it's like the art of books never really died for me. Actually, the concept and the art of books became a bigger thing as an adult because I was broke and just at home all the time. So it's like, and didn't want to watch TV. So it's like, oh, let's just get on the book shit. So the books have been a thing. Records have obviously always been a thing. So there's other ways to like occupy and like go off and do shit when you've been in the house and haven't been used to that. And now with people being home, it's like, excuse me, watching them like lose their fucking mind. It's been really, really hard, and like wanting to suggest shit, but also give them their space and not be the person that's like, oh, because then you see all the artists like, oh, I've been preparing for this my whole life, nigga. That's not cool either. Like, you know, like, so you don't get cool points for being cool with being in the house, and everybody's going through something. So there's a sense of like empathy for everyone's transition. But I was talking about it because I was part of my inner turmoil was trying to figure out which if any of some of the corporate partnerships were going to honor contracts and shit, like who was going to suffer and not be able to fulfill certain invoices and shit. It's like, oh fuck. And then once that got cleared up, there was a follow-up sort of questionnaire like, yo, how are you managing this time? How are you managing the space or whatever? And I was like, to be honest, I'm fine. It is literally how much access I have to small business owners and people who are directly impacted from an economical stance that's making it, that really is causing the the confusion a little bit, because watching them sort of go, damn, I don't know, it's been really hard, and watching the businesses be impacted so immediately.
Yeah, these aren't the times for small businesses. This actually isn't a time for business in general. Yeah. Just because it doesn't matter how big it does matter how big your company is, because the small businesses have a better chance of going out of business, like very easily. Like they can't take a month off from doing work. You know what I mean? But it's also amazing to see larger businesses and how unprepared those businesses are for a month of something like this, or if it extends out, the decisions that you have to make. Because it was interesting to learn how many businesses are basically month to month. They
month to month, some of them day to day. G.
No, definitely. But I mean, like, as far as like how they're structured on presenting their income.
Yeah.
So they go by, if they have a really good month, and then the next month they have a really bad month, there's basically a break even type of deal. It's amazing to see like how that kind of plays out, that there isn't a way, there isn't a preparation for 2-3 months out in advance. It's always on a scale that's so close to.
It's now. A lot of small businesses aren't able to forecast the way Fortune 500 companies are able to do.
No, I'm not talking about small. Small businesses.
You're not even.
Small business. We're for sure. I understand that situation. Small business. We're not thinking about that part. I'm talking about large businesses that have to continuously think about their shareholders. And how much of a monthly scale they're on. So there'll be random things that happen where a month like this means that we already foresee a certain amount of our employees will have to be cut in order for us to show our shareholders that we're still strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain type of internal plays that you have to make for something like this, and this one is weird because there's no time frame.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, all the time frames are up in the air, so that's only going. Like, people are hoping that May 1st is the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's not.
But I think that's like watching the NBA having to take out a substantial to expand their credit limit, and these other companies that have had to expand, further their credit limit. How much of the economy is built on forecasting and projecting, right? And so, where you talk about the algorithm building a profile on each of us individually to be able to market and sell to us, and all these different things is all based on some sort of forecasting and shit, and sort of projecting what will be or what could be with particular products and what it'll do in this region, in this market, and all this shit. So
this is also why I think in month 8 of each year, most companies will do a reforecast for the rest of the year. So that's the reason why
that's their reset. Their calendar year is not. There's not 12 months like everybody else.
That's why that's built in there. But yeah, this one was just weird, man. But I would say that to look at the silver lining or just like the glass half full, this couldn't have, like, this particular type of situation couldn't have happened in a better span of months, at least.
How so? How so?
Because I don't think the country was prepared for this to take place at the end of last year or the top of this year or in the summertime of this year. There's no way you'd have been able to get as many people as you have right now to at least somewhat
adhere to the quarantine, to stay home.
I mean?
Yeah,
but I mean, there's more to come. But I think it's just like the timing of it. If we have to go off of timing on something random like this, then not random, but
Yeah, I honestly didn't want to start with it, but we're here, and I'll only say that because we've been doing a lot better about sharing some of the feedback from the show with each other that we get, because we get separate feedback, right? And one of the things that I didn't share the last few weeks, like last month or so, is like, yo, where's the conspiracy corner when it's time for conspiracy corner? And I was like, to be honest, Elle and I are thinking about this a completely different way than the normal conspiracy shit we be on. Like there is a plausible play and conversation to be had. This just don't feel like the time to be playing with shit.
It's not good, bro. It's not good for anybody's psyche. That's the reason why the things that I post or the things that I bring to the forefront, even when I'm talking with people, you'll never hear anything that I'm saying be in a negative light, especially right now.
Facts.
We usually find a lot of positivity in things, but right now, though, you need to be very factual, very consistent, very disciplined, and on top of that, provide positivity and hope for those who are unsettled. You know what I mean? So we carry a different type of responsibility. And when it comes to conspiracy corner for something on this scale, conspiracies are fun and dandy when we're not in the shits. But when we're in the middle of the shits, conspiracy does zip zero.
Yeah.
I always think of things in business terms. So zip zero for your bottom line. Nobody, bro, that's not doing anything for you right now.
Yeah.
So it's not really a point. But we can, if we need to, we can go to it. If people are interested, you can phone it in.
All right, man. Enough with the serious talk.
Let's do it.
Now I'm fucking with you. We were trading. We were sending each other topics and shit we wanted to talk about, and a couple of yours like jumped out. It was like the shit you realize when you enforced to be locked down. What have you uncovered for yourself in this time? But and I didn't even want to ask you this shit because nigga, you damn near be quarantined already. Like we see L Thursday to Sunday, maybe, nigga, maybe. For the turn. And even that's fairly recent. But before that, it was like, nigga, I'm barricaded in here. Like, almost like you was preparing for, what's the, remember the old Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that only come on USA? Like, when that nigga gets sent to a prison in Russia or some shit, and this nigga be in there going ham.
Hey, Jean-Claude used to go
That's
crazy.
This nigga. L might be Jean-Claude, bro. You might be him, bro, because I ain't seen.
The cold part is like folks who have like a lifeline towards me or just have tentacles towards me, bro. It's just like they understand completely. Like when they talk to me right now, they're like, bro, there's really no need to even have a conversation with you about any of this shit right now. At all. Like we know where you're coming from on this one, but. Nah, I think that what I found, what I've been finding, in the current climate, hey man, I know the Cavs had the best finals appearance of all time, bro. I went down memory lane of, of the 2016 finals.
When they were just running game after game.
Bro, I was there in the flesh because I have so many friends who are on the Warrior side, of course. And this was when I was living in the back of San Francisco. So I would have to come from the back because they had already got at me the year before. Mm-hmm. I think the Warriors won the year before that one. So they had already got at me because we was in the bars at that time, and I was the only person in the LeBron corner, and we were doing great. And then they just ran it up on us, and it was just a wrap from there. Yeah. And that's when Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt, shit like that. So there's nothing you could do about that. So whatever, asterisk for me. Yeah. But the next year, everybody was healthy, so I was like, bro, we here, fuck it, we in these bars, bro. We were down 3-1, and I'm in here sweating now. But I'm like, fuck it, bro. We gonna I'm still coming.
Take it over.
I'm still coming. So I went. So we had one of them bars. I forgot the name of it, but it's super small, compact. All these Warrior fans, they spitting when they talk to me. All this like beer flying everywhere. The game is wild, and it's out here in Oakland or whatever. And
you're reliving that game 7?
No, this was game 5. This was game 5 down 3-1.
Oh, the turn.
And I gotta be in the middle of this when they about to hit the streets again.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So to win that game and then go through the next game in Cleveland where Nils was prepared, and then go to the game 7 and then watch those highlights now as opposed to back then. Back then it was just pure excitement for me. Yeah. Watching it now, that shit was such a mind fuck.
You're the first person I called after game 7.
Bro,
is you and Alyssa back to back?
I was the only one because Lige got had the whip with the Jeep with the
no doors
and the roof and stuff like that. I was the only one in downtown Oakland. We was driving through the streets because nobody's gonna go out now at the end of game 7 and yelling at the top of my lungs through downtown. About that game, bro.
That was such a.
I know folks wanted to take me out because I had a moment, bro.
That was a happy moment, man.
Huh?
That was a happy moment.
Ecstatic.
Yeah, and it's not. It had nothing to do for me. It had nothing to do with the Warriors and everything to do with their shitty fans. Everything.
It was that, and then it was just the odds, bro. Like I don't think people understand the odds that were stacked against that team. And literally,
Push is over here burning. By the way,
I bet. But literally, you
the
had,
more L talk, the more I was like, I could feel the heat coming off.
I'm here for this because that is what we get to live in. Because the following year, they just ran it up with
KD.
with the number 2 guy in the league, bro. So it is what it is, bro. Like you.
What an asshole!
Bro,
this is what you've been thinking about during lockdown. This is what you've been on. This is what you decided.
My nigga, I'm constantly doing like this is what I was on.
You circling back for your vengeance, huh? This is what you come up with.
I was here to come back and talk shit.
What a fucking sicko, dude. What else? Can you give us anything else you've uncovered during quarantine, sir? Besides your revenge, you plotting against every Warrior fan.
Ah man, hey, low carb diet is essential. Like
L. What are you right now, what are you preparing for?
Hey, you don't want to come out of this on the wrong side of the struggle, bro. Trust me.
Missing summer body goals.
Hey, because first off, we don't even know if summer is canceled yet, but yeah, summer 2020 might be canceled. But if it's not, then folks ain't gonna be prepared for it. But Greek salads. What is it? Damn, I can't think of the name of the shit. But it's like diced carrots instead of using. Fuck it. No, we're not going into details on this. Not going into details on this. But yes, low carb diet, bro. Low carb diet.
The Cavs had the greatest performance in finals history. What else you got?
Bro, diversify your activities and meals. So this is gonna be the mind game you get to play.
This nigga's a sicko.
So this is what you get to play around with because
trick yourself.
Bro, you gotta trick yourself. You gotta in order to survive some of these these lockdowns, the reason why people are going crazy is because y'all haven't planned out what y'all meals and your activities are gonna be yet. y'all just sitting in the house and playing it by ear as if y'all can still go outside like that. Y'all gotta figure out y'all days better, bro. Like it's not.
But this is back to our point from last week. How many motherfuckers are living day to day, second to second? And I'm with you. But I genuinely, wholeheartedly feel, and forgive me because I have context of what the fuck you've been through, so I know you earned the privilege you now have to be way more structured and disciplined in your shit. Because you done seen some shit. We got that's something we got to talk about too that I didn't have on the topics of
going to my intro
of
bro.
normalizing the trauma that niggas have been through. Like now, when we do with men of color too, I just immediately I assume y'all been through some shit. Immediately I go, oh, you done seen some shit, you done seen some shit, you done seen some shit, and normalize that shit and dismiss it and start from. Like your handicap is built in with me, and not from a place where I'm expecting less from you. Actually, I'm expecting your threshold to be more because you done been through some shit. We'll get to that. We'll get through that later. Yeah. But everybody don't come out on the other side of that victorious, and especially in the way that you did. Like you're an anomaly in that. Like I can't wait for your book, nigga, because I think people think I be gassing when I be talking like, yo, no, this nigga's different. Like for real, is a machine. And so that sort of planning and structuring, but then what this is, because watching niggas go crazy on the gram, people are losing their fucking mind. Like niggas you have never heard say a word on there doing skits, singing in the kitchen, yelling at the kids, all kind of wild shit, because they just losing their shit. So you go, oh,
TikTok is running up.
Everybody's day to day. Everybody's second to second with this shit, and like the type of forecasting and planning and discipline that it takes to be like quote unquote successful. Like let's say we have a universal concept or idea of what successful means, right? At a base. Let's say we do, just for the sake of this conversation. That base of success, the amount of discipline planning that basic level of success takes. Completely. The average person don't have the bandwidth for, bro. So now what it's doing in hindsight is giving me insight on the niggas that I was leaning on for information or that I was confiding in, like using as confidants, literally didn't have a clue of what type of shit we were talking about, planning and discussing. And I'm realizing that now because now everyone retroactively is trying to do it. Like I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten like, yo, you should do a live concert right now. My nigga, people are being displaced out of their homes and have family members that are dying and are sick, and you want me to do a live fucking performance if you don't get off my phone? I can't think about that right. That's the furthest thing from my mind right now. We got grandparents that are 35 miles away that got to be cognizant of that may need shit that don't need to be out.
That's right.
It's other shit looming, and you talking about a fucking performance, dog? Like, put your cash app up. Bro, come on, man. Yeah. What are we talking about? And so it really is uncovering a lot of other shit for me to where I'm going, oh, you niggas been playing second to second, day to day, and here I am talking about playing a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 15-year plan of like shit that I'm working on today that I know I'm not gonna see for 10 years. Like dead ass. And talking to friend, like me and Lex, me and this nigga talk like 3 times a week about some shit that we know is a couple years out. Seriously. And do it with excitement too. Yeah. You know, so it's that
goes back to you enjoying the process though, because like if you enjoy the lead up to things and not so focused on like if you're enjoying the in between of everything, then the result is gonna be what you already expected out of it.
Facts.
So when you actually get to the result, you should already be working on the next part of the plan.
Facts.
So that you never really stay inside of what the results of any particular idea or plan that you have is going on at the time. So as long as you're consistently doing that, then you always have more to do, which then does not put you in these positions where you are acting that way.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like that anxiety level that a lot of people have is that you feel like you're running out of time or ideas on something that's going on in the immediate, like in currently,
Yeah.
bro. Like, do your challenges, do these dances, look at your comments, do all of that shit, That's fine and dandy. That's a lot of fun. Enjoy yourselves. But after that, you're going to have another 23 hours.
Yeah. What do you say with that, G? What do you say? Where do you land at for the repercussions of the people on the fence to whether or not to take the shit serious?
I started off very militant on trying to get people to understand the severity of our current position.
What got you? I'm sorry, keep cutting you off. What got you? What got you
that
there
point?
to that point? To the point of not even what got you to the militant mindset of trying to get people to understand, but what got you to the point where you like, oh nah, this shit is serious. Yeah.
Got it.
Was it any bit of information? Was
It is information that I'm privy to. I'm still privy to more, which is just too much for just to be putting out there all willy like like I can foresee things. You know what I mean? But I am privy to a lot more that's going on behind the scenes. But on top of that, I think it's also the position I put myself in currently to take information that I have and take it seriously as opposed to with a grain of salt. Because I think a lot of times you take information, or when somebody's telling you something, you can take a lot of that with a grain of salt by either where the information is coming from or the position that you're in at the time to take it seriously.
got you?
So if you haven't put in the work for something like this to take place, and somebody tells you something, then you will shun it off or joke it off out of your lack of preparation in a time. It's the same as when somebody's uncomfortable, they laugh or they get defensive or stuff like that. Like all that stuff plays a part. It's your own fear coming to the forefront, so then you shun it off out of that initial fear. I've done so much work on just my mental states that when something like that takes place, I need to prepare for the worst first, and then I can dial it back from there. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality on a lot of these things. You know what I mean? That's more important for me. And tell you the truth, everything that I've been privy to has taken place.
Is that how you land at a space where you go, niggas is only gonna respect martial law?
Completely.
Got you.
Completely.
Got you.
Because
is it the optics and like the theatrics of martial law, or is it like, because we've been hearing, I'll never forget the first time of like hearing a rapper say that, and it was someone that people kind of dismiss as this extremist. Killer Mike has been talking about this shit for over a decade. Like, shit's coming, clip up, go buy you some property, some land, insulate yourself with weapon, like all, like learn how to farm, learn vegetation, like learn all. Brad been saying this in his raps for over a decade, and I'll never forget hearing that shit and going, damn, I don't know any, like my grandma, God bless her soul, Ella May. Remember her trying to teach me how to plant greens and like season and all, and just kind of dismissing it. Just a kid, like, grandma, why I gotta greens? Yeah. We go buy that shit from the store. She's like, no, I want to grow my own. I want to plant this lemon tree. I want to do this, and I'm like just being silly. But now in hindsight, like, that's my shit. Like peppers, lettuce, greens, all this shit. Like, that's my shit now. But we've seen the movies and everything, and it's like artists are creatives like have imaginations and shit, but they don't be pulling shit out of just thin air, be inspired by something. And so when you say, yo, only gonna respect martial law, what is it about the martial law that activates people, but as you've been alluding to this whole time, by the time it kicks in, it's too late.
Yeah, no, it's over with by then. But the
Talking to just moving that. Yeah, you are just move it down to you.
yeah, but so before the martial law part, the build up to it.
Yeah.
So our original thought process on martial law and why it was so present in rap culture or just like people that would talk about it is because the original idea was that they were going to do so much stuff to us as people that we were going, when we pushed the button for rebellion, was going to incite the martial law part. But then they continuously did shit to us, and we stopped reacting, and we started just creating and putting and displacing it into other creative atmospheres and flows and stuff like that, right? So when something like this comes in, this is where the conspiracy part comes in, is allowing this to come like past the borders. The administration that we have in place, them getting rid of the people that's supposed to see this coming.
Yeah, that branch of it wasn't a branch of CIA. What was that? What there's a particular
it's a pandemic team, but I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But it was something that Obama had in place, and this was part of the administration undoing everything that Obama had
just
done
to
in
remove,
office.
just to completely erase that legacy.
Just completely erase it. So that was part of the teams that they erased, and this seeped into the U.S.
And because you touched on that, I feel like you've been touching on it the last few episodes, but to clarify that, G, and to dial it in, there was a specific subset group that their sole purpose was to track and nip this type of shit in the bud.
Before it gets out. Yes, before it becomes a pandemic. I don't think people know what pandemic actually means and how big of a word that actually is when they start using that.
Yeah.
That word, you haven't heard pandemic be used as much as been used recently.
No.
And when they use that, it just creates the
whole point is not to have to say that word.
Yeah, but when you do, and when you make it normal, is when a lot like receiving the full control over the government, being able to having a part of that be that you can instill martial law. We've been using pandemic a lot. You know what I mean? Like those are words that you use that you can have people agree to. You know what? Martial law is the best plan of action.
Push the button.
Go for it. But for this one, it probably won't be California. They hate California. You'll probably see tanks in New York.
We're pushing. I was just talking about that. Like the numbers in New York are staggering in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah.
Less than 10% and everywhere else in comparison to New York. Something crazy like that.
14,000 cases in New York
Alone.
and then like 1,700 in Washington, and then like 1,300 in Cali.
Yeah.
And remember, with that information, we also don't have access to tests. So there's a lot more than that, which is when I was saying the martial law thing and people not taking it seriously and people not recognizing what these large numbers mean and knowing that we don't have testing in order to even know that people have it.
Yeah.
That's when the predictions of 150 million people receiving it and whatever numbers from that drops off and dies, that number becomes a lot more real to me. The more and more I see how people do not respond correctly to something like this. Because we could have easily went in, stayed out the way, not socialize with each other. We can still socialize, but not, get together in these groups, go out, stuff like that.
But niggas don't. That's the fucked up part. And this is where I get frustrated with people. Niggas been weird and not really fucking with each other. Like, and now all of a sudden niggas want to be outside.
Right, they in there. I mean, folks been at the lake playing football, bro. They out there playing volleyball. You still touching the same ball, right? That folks was in San Francisco playing basketball, rubbing up against each other, sweating and shit.
But you know what's gonna happen, OG. It's like where was you where speaking in reference to us?
Yeah.
Where's y'all niggas conspiracy energy now? And it's like it's not. This just don't feel like the time to play. I'm not and I don't and I'll speak for myself. I don't be playing on that other shit either. To be keeping a buck with you, I don't be playing on that other shit either. I'm just saying right now, I'm man enough to be like, I don't know, I'm confused, but because that's what type of time it is, let me abide by this for the sake of others around me. Because I feel if something were to come, I feel healthy enough to fight whatever. Like it ain't gonna have shit to do with me.
Speaking of that, you wanna know another bean?
Huh.
I got another bean for you.
Here we go.
Folks are locked up now. They're taking it a little bit more serious, right?
Yeah.
But they're still getting together, still partying together.
Yep.
What do people do when they come together and they socialize, especially at night? They
drink, smoke, pass the shit around.
Hey man, alcohol is a poison that you put into yourself. It's built to it's here to break down your immune system.
All them sugars in there immediately.
We're dealing with something that attacks broken down immune systems. Yeah. Hey folks, man, have your fun, man. Yeah. I get why folks don't go out on a limb on a lot of these like topics and try to talk to large bodies of people at the exact same time.
Yeah,
because it's nerve wracking.
I was glad, I was grateful for your gems, what you dropping in the group text. I was grateful. Push was like, yo, I've been on this shit, because my niggas in school still. And seen it from a whole different vantage point of a school that's heavily populated by foreigners and people who did the holiday travel and went directly to where the source was. So it was like, yo, let me sit my ass down early. I ain't seen you. I haven't seen, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like if nothing, the people around me, I really appreciate how y'all are moving and going about it. Lex, he's in the midst of a really big project and could be like, fuck that, I'm gonna get it. Nah, let's fall back and pivot and figure out other ways to go about expression and content building and stuff. So I'm just glad to be here and glad that y'all are approaching it the way that you guys are. Beyond that, like when I'm driving and because I've driven by the lake too, G, and seen that shit, be like, yo, niggas is tripping. Like outside, and like that's cool. Like I'm glad that's where you at in your brain with it. But for the sake of everyone around me, take my black ass home and been in here with my dog. This nigga ain't no fun though. This what he do all day. He's being courteous and not sleeping with his dick in the air, but he normally be legs back like a human. Like, bro, how you even know to lay like that? That shit is crazy.
I guess since you got company.
Since you got company,
I'm gonna go ahead and put this dick away.
Look. Now where you going?
You like what?
Like, nigga, we talking about you, man. What else you got for us, G? Because I got a bunch of. I was trying to stay far away from Corona on this episode. You look at my topics.
Oh no, I get it. You saw the De Blasio thing with the?
I did not.
The NBA.
I did not.
Oh, okay. So Mayor De Blasio basically got out the NBA about them being able to grab their tests and test their players for the virus and like the responses and that basically the test should not be for the wealthy but for those who are actually showing symptoms of being sick. So it became an interesting topic on how politics can now play a factor in this moment. Because like it's kind of weaponizing. You see folks, in these times you start weaponizing the virus, which is a big like Walking Dead thing too.
Facts.
Where like it's no longer like that was just the source of the problem. And then you start seeing like how it becomes weaponized. So it's no longer about the Walking Dead on the show anymore. It's about like how the people have now reacted in this time frame, right?
Yeah.
Right, stuff like that. So like it was just interesting to see them come at the NBA about that, and the NBA was just talking about how they created the awareness basically. They went off of because of how quick their response was. They were getting it from private sectors that they felt that was the best plan of action to help out the public and also bring awareness to the public on how serious the topic was, the subject was. So it was just interesting to see that they got on about that. When like the biggest deal was that we don't have tests and we don't have enough tests. So like,
are we? My issue and my frustration with that, in particular, with it coming from someone in politics, is where has this outrage been when routinely our access to cures and wellness plans that can ensure a sustained healthy means of living has always been dependent upon your economic status. This isn't new
completely.
And so the platform and sort of the stage that this is on, like the world has stopped right now and collectively has eyes on this. So this is where the conspiracy part of me. I'm sorry, not even fuck the conspiracy part. This is where the confused part of me is emphasized. Where the amount. So this is my normalizing trauma thing. Sorry, the amount of death, and not death of natural causes. The amount of death that we have been courtside for in the midst of is not normal. It's not normal, sure. And we've completely figured out a way to normalize it and go on about our day. And so now, because the world is stopped, there's reports like that where it's like, yo, why y'all get the test first? It's like, fam, that's what niggas have been talking about. Why is everyone else's lives significantly more important than one group? Not a bunch of groups. It's one group who doesn't seem to collectively matter to anyone. And over again have to watch deaths of extreme circumstances on a fucking loop.
Code was cracked just there. You're 1,000% correct. And also the reason why people are constantly doing something, they're going batshit crazy about it, is that once you do stop and slow down, that means you have to deal with something. Like your mind is going to catch up, and all that shit that you've been suppressing will come to the forefront.
Jesus Christ.
It just hit me because I was thinking about because that's something that Waka Flocka was dealing with like he was no longer doing the music part. He was retiring, and now his wife is trying to get into the music and stuff like that. Yeah. But with him slowing down, now he actually has to deal with the deaths of his brothers.
Brothers, plural.
Brothers.
Because both didn't two brothers commit suicide?
I believe so. Yeah.
I know the younger one did for sure, and I'm almost certain the other one did too. Like,
yeah, I don't know if it was suicide or just, one was killed.
But both were two suicide, right?
One was killed.
Oh, one was killed. Okay,
yeah,
my bad. Okay.
But he said that, I think he said he was there for
he was right there for
he was there for that one. So
Jesus Christ.
Him being like, he saw him bleed out brains and everything like that. So he saw that stuff.
Trauma.
But he didn't cry or deal with that initially. I think it was like 3 weeks later or 3 months later or something like that is when he first shed a tear about the situation.
Jesus
but
Christ,
the whole time up to that, he was just treating it as if they were still there.
Yeah.
Just not there. Like you can't see them, but they're still just as if they took a trip and they're not even. You know what I mean? So when everything slowed down and he no longer had these distractions, is when all that stuff came to the forefront, and now he's dealing with some, and like on top of that, parents his mom not being like very, like a loving type of parent, more like a tough love type of parent.
She's from Miss Aunt Deb. She's from a different. She's from Queens in the 70s and 80s, bro. She moved on a whole different type of time. Her brothers was in the streets for real.
You feel me? So like all that stuff, like so that means it's just so much. It's a certain level of just suppression that's just sitting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember for myself, when I broke my back and could never really get back to playing at the level that I was accustomed to playing at, but still being at the highest level, being at one of the highest levels of sporting and having to get through that to finish school.
Yeah.
And like, and having all of like with the steel, like when I was on bed rest and stuff like that, and having all the stuff that to that point kind of was my fueling force for me playing.
Yeah.
Then having nothing for me to push that to, no outlet for that, and all of that stuff coming to the forefront, and the amount of turmoil and trauma I had with not having activity to get that off on, I can only understand like that's what folks are going through, and folks will go through in situations like this where you ain't got nothing to push that. Ain't no outlets for that, man. Like you got to create an outlet, of course, but it ain't no, when people start putting restrictions on you, shit start happening.
You just said so much there.
I kind of did. I went off a tangent, my bad.
No. Not even remotely in a way where you overshared or nothing like that. Just like so much that I have so many more questions for and want to have larger discussions about. Mainly the grieving and attempting to heal. The amount. Again, I hate to keep using that phrase, but normalizing trauma and just packing up and going is so a part of the American experience as a whole, but in specific to the Black American experience, where you just like, bro, that's just where the fuck you crying for, boy? Get up and keep rocking. Like that hurt, bro. Fuck you mean? What am I crying for? You know, but to the point where that has the reverse effect on you. Like, I'm not ever crying in front of my big cousins, my big brothers, my dad. Fuck no. That's the last nigga I want to see me cry.
Man.
You know, and then Push was there that day. We were finishing the album. Push was mixing TV Babies, and we were trying to film the process. And I was like trying to have this like closure moment with my dad. And nigga, my dad goes, I forget what the question was, but somehow we landed on him saying, I could never do what you do, and I don't have the balls you do, nigga. I just started crying. I couldn't hold it in no more because for him to say that type of validation and that stamp, not a Grammy, not Hove, it's not nobody that could give me that feeling of my dad going, fam, I'm basic. His way of saying I'm proud of you, and he didn't even say those words. He was just like, I could never do what you doing.
Right.
And I was just like, damn, but forever. For my 30 years on this earth, the last nigga I wanted to see me shed a tear or be in a compromising, vulnerable state was him.
That's right.
Because an encounter we had when I was 6. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. With like hearing myself say it out loud, but it's the truth. It's genuinely my truth. To just like and it's not just him. It's a bunch of male figures in my life who I refuse. But you know what's even iller? Not just the male figures. It's some women in our circle that I never wanted to see me on that type of time. So you mean to tell me it's no space, there's no outlet for you to be like, I'm going through some shit?
Completely.
And as a reciprocating factor, they looking at you the same way because you ain't never shared that either. So now we just stuck in this purgatory. Ain't nobody sharing and everybody suffering in silence because ain't nobody wants to seem compromised or weaker.
I'm sorry, man, but like folks gotta understand that stuff comes out no matter what. Like
no matter what.
Like it's gonna eventually come out, and the cold part is it happens if you're people say you're lucky. It really depends on circumstance. But if you're lucky enough to grow old, is usually when it's gonna happen because the less people are around when you become old. including including your children, including like folks that's close to you. Like all them folks ain't around there. So all them feelings, all that hardness that you was projecting in your youth when you had the strength, when you start getting weaker, bro, that shit comes to the forefront, and that's when it's gonna hit you. My decision and what I saw for myself was that there's no fucking way that I was going to allow myself to, if I'm lucky enough to become old, have that be the time when I go through the shit that I need to go through.
Man.
I'll do that shit when I'm young and I'm strong enough to do that shit, bro, and figure out how to get through that. But heal in real time. I would rather do it that way. I'm not about to wait on that shit. So that was my mentality on that.
I'm just glad niggas know that, you know. And it came at it.
No matter what, how much time it this shit.
Speaking for myself, but that lesson came at such an impossible cost. And that was driven home with you and everything you went through. And I detach myself and go you, because for what I was going through when you were going through it was just like, this nigga's been my world since forever. So I was so much more concerned about you than you, how you were concerned about everything else. I was concerned for you. So that cost it just seemed like a real big ticket to learn that lesson. Like, fuck, man, I feel like we could have learned that on such a cheaper ass, bro. Like, like
real life, man.
Like I feel like that you could have asked anything else of us and niggas would have been like, all right, we got it. But maybe not. I don't know. But fuck, dude. Like, why does it have to come at that?
Bro, I paid so many souls for that lesson, bro.
Jesus.
That shit sucks, but it is what it is, bro. We keep it pushing and learn from them mistakes, man.
Damn, I don't even know. I have no idea how we ended up there.
That was Mayor de Blasio.
Mayor de Blasio. Shout out to Blasio.
Shout out to Blasio. Hey, man, do you feel like movie theater is about to die?
Okay. Now, hey, what we say? Now you podding. I didn't watch some shit since I've been in the house, yo.
Bro,
I didn't see some shit.
Did you watch The Banker yet?
G.
It was good?
G. No. I haven't watched The Banker yet.
Okay. No,
I almost drop-kicked the TV because both Apple accounts locked last night trying to watch The Banker. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and the promo was coming up on whether you got Roku or Apple TV. The first thing you see is watch The Banker. And then the homie texted me, he was like, yo, stop whatever you doing, watch The Banker right now. And that's literally what I was trying to do. And are you kidding me? So got it unlocked, and that's what immediately after the pod, I'm watching The Banker.
Yeah, I gotta watch today too.
Nia Long's interview, Sam Jackson talked briefly about, you know, the real story that it's based off of and how that affects today. I know you guys are all small business owners in that realm. As a small business owner and trying to obtain a loan, salute to Poe, who's been working with me diligently on learning the ins and outs of what takes place in that process, getting a credit limit as a small business owner and all that shit. That story, just them explaining it, moved me in a way that I can't even quantify. I've watched so many small business owners of color not have access to credit limit and loans to even get started. And so many companies are based on, have got their jump start. If you can't get a credit limit to get your bare essentials to get rocking, and you know what that profit, the potential earnings is for what your business is. Right. So there's a bunch of people running around here with great ideas that can't get access to credit and loans and shit like that to get their idea funded, to then go, hey, duh, I was right, pay it back, you know, just on some basic shit. But we can get a loan. We can get a 30-year fixed loan for a house. We can get a loan for a car. Nigga, T-Mobile will give you 5 phones right now. Hey, pay that shit back when you get it, you know. But in terms of like building something that could turn into generational wealth, and we're not talking astronomical numbers, but to be the benefits of being an entrepreneur and working for yourself and having something that's family owned and family run. Oh my gosh, bro. Or like we see it in the Jim Crow era. That's another Killer Mike thing. Like he talked about the importance of shopping and buying black and the black dollar and being able to keep that amongst us for longer when every other nationality present day can still keep $1 amongst just them. $30 30 days minimum. We can't keep $1 amongst us for an hour because we buy everything from everyone else. We don't shop with each other at all, and that's back to the allowing black products to be in beta shit that we've been talking about forever on the show. Just that limited amount of patience we have and access and again you go, oh well, such and such don't have his shit in order. Well, such and such didn't have access to the resources to have the proper rollout and to have basic shit. If you got a restaurant and you need to have utensils and shit, just
infrastructure.
You don't even have the shit. You don't even have the access to the resources to do that. So you're already at a disadvantage. And then the demographic you're hoping to serve is just impatient and be like, yo, I can go fuck with the white people, with the Asians, with everybody else, and they got their shit intact. Well, yeah, because they had access to something to jump this shit off the right way. And we just scraping by. Yo, got my cousins, my mama working like us at the show, for example. And this was an out-of-state show. How many of us was it, Push? It was the band, Push, and Freak. Between just that crew alone, there's 8 of us that always travel. Push luckily had his girl and little siblings with them, and I think I told you this. It's such a cultural thing because his little sister and his girl's brother, they didn't even bat an eye. They saw me carrying shit in and setting up, and they just got up and was like, "Yo, what we need to do? What we doing?" Push setting up the sound. My brothers, we're at my brother's restaurant. He in the back moving, sending people out to help. It's just this, like, oh shit, what it takes to run something. But I should have been able to have somebody on staff to pay them to help do that because I'm about to rap for fuck's sake, and here I am sweating. But you just got to get it done. So it's an independent operation out the trunk, and we don't have access to credit, none of that. We working on the fly. Fuck with us, and it you got to provide context and tell that story, but people want to jump ahead and skip that part of the process and just go, hey, be a finished, polished product right now. How? Nothing we love was a finished, polished product the first time you got it. Those first Apple desktop shits and what they then morphed into with the see-through color ones, and then that shit was, man, Steve Jobs himself would come back from the grave and laugh at all that shit, be like, hey, that was part of it, man. We was figuring it out, but it's
that nigga was selling a dream, boy, but not everybody get a chance to pull off selling a dream, though.
Man, but even
Elon Musk selling dreams, bro.
Even Steve, he went through it to where people was trying to like dismiss him, like, bro, you crazy, that shit didn't work, it flopped, That resilience is it's not that type of success ain't had without some pushback and some fight. It's just can you sustain it? The fear going broke, like being like there's being in the red, and whatever shit is way beyond the red, nigga, is where I'm at right now. Like I'm drowning, and here we are doing the show, and I couldn't be happier. This episode 99, G.
It is. It's funny that we introduced episode 99 at this point.
At this point in the show. I'm sorry. I hope niggas make it this far into the shit. Episode 99, man.
Y'all keep them count. 99. 100 next, man.
99. Anything? Can anybody? Anything? Anyone? You got anything, Lex? 99 shows?
I'm just happy I got my job back.
Yeah, welcome back, bro.
Welcome back.
We just gonna keep welcoming you back
every time. Just welcome back, Lex.
Nah, don't do that because that means I'm about to get fired again. You niggas ain't slick.
Niggas just know when he don't get that welcome back, it's over.
Dog, what?
Welcome back. Ah, shit.
What did we say about 99 episodes, man?
I don't know, man. It's a lot of information out there, man.
there was something I was gonna bring up that I sent to Monty was like, you guys about to hit 100, so I think it'd be a good time for you guys to let the listeners know like that process of going through this grind, because a lot of people think this shit's easy, like, oh, they just meet up, turn on the mics, and then they talk, but they don't realize like you said, we independent. Yeah. We don't got no real funding like that, so this is all out of pocket. This is our time. So I want you guys to just touch on that.
You got
That's
anything?
a good idea. I'd say this is probably not an on mic thing, but we can work through some ideas. But I was thinking, it's kind of like a listener's appreciation moment too, because I mean they rocking with us. They've been rocking with us for this time too. So I say we reach out on the page or whatever, and folks that usually send in their questions or things they have, call in or we call them. They say that on the mic. We have a little conversation.
That's a brilliant idea, G.
And then peace out. I mean, especially because
right
now we can't really.
That's the 100.
We can't really be in the same room, but we could definitely reach out and have a conversation with everybody, and everybody has their moment on the online too.
That's how we do the 100. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah. Because this is an ode to the listeners. Like from the very first time we started the show, I tell the story all the time. The iteration of the show as it exists now was always a plan from the rip. And just based on how L and Poe are wired specifically.
We just don't have our cool meter, man. It's good. He bowed out.
I know. He'll be back. I'm confident he'll be back at some point when it makes sense. But I remember approaching him about it before the initial show started, where I was just interviewing people. And I still want to I talked to L about bringing the interview portion back and doubling up on the episodes, and I think we're going to figure that out. But it was always, L and Poe specifically have such a unique perspective and approach to life. And they're two of my favorite thinkers that exist, and that includes the celebrity and the famous people that we all know. Like, they still sit at the top of the list for me because of how their thoughts and approaches go beyond just a thought and an approach. It's application, right? So you can study, you can have all these things, but it's a completely different thing to apply it and live it. And
we ain't got no ties, man. Keep it real, bro. Ain't got no ties, bro.
But I wanted to showcase that because I think the visual representation, like, people can immediately dismiss us for something completely different without any context and without the story being told. And what kept happening is, like, I was waiting for people to cover things the way we talk about them. And I remember Gary V, me and Push talked about it. It's like, yo, Gary V's like, yo, the worst thing you could do is not do something because somebody already doing it. And that shit, because I've been talking about doing how long I've been talking about doing a podcast? And then Joe started doing it, was like, oh, I can't do one now. And it's such a goofy thought process, especially when you think about it in hindsight. It's like, oh, yeah, we can. We can, and we are, and now we're here. And the listeners are what keep that going. And so the idea that people tune in every week, Flo and a few other people asked, like, yo, what are your listeners? And I was like, yo, we do like 600. And they're like, y'all got 600 people that listen to the show every week? And I was like, yeah, I thought that was low. That's a lot of people. And I was like, oh, damn, I didn't know that was a lot. I had no idea that was a lot, because I'm seeing Joe Rogan, Joe Budden, and It's the Real, and Bodega Boys. And that's the part you forget, is like, they had a whole run where it wasn't that many people tuning in. Tax Stone, Combat Jack, like, they had a run where it was just me listening to the shit.
And they were bringing in people from their old jobs.
Come on, man. So it takes time, but even I forgot that it takes time. So when we hit 60, the platform that we use reached out, like, yo, congrats. Like, y'all are in a percentile that is less than 7% to get to the 60th episode. I'm like, word? And then you start looking at it, it's like, yeah, less than 7% of shows make it past the 20th episode. I'm like, well, wait, that's crazy. So now approaching 100 is, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm just grateful to fuck with something that long. like it,
That's real.
and not have it be attached to this weird concept of success, because even music for me still is tethered to this strange validation that don't have shit to do with me. Like I'm not in control of having hella fans and being hella lit, whatever that means. I'm glad to say that I'm back to a point where I'm expressing and writing and telling stories for me, depending on how I feel that day. I'm so proud to be back there, but if I'm being honest, there was a time where I wasn't there, you know. So it's been a real special journey to get back here and to do it this way, and to be consistent with it, and then everybody that's fucked with us along the way, like people, like we say it all, we laugh like, yo, had no idea this person was listening, and it'll be the most random person that'll reach out, be like, yo, like, nigga, y'all didn't drop last week, nigga, what's up? Like, oh shit, yeah, like,
y'all pressed,
didn't know niggas was waiting like that, you know.
Get you the virtual him up, bro. Like, all right, man.
All right, man, you got it. And it's special, you know, and now and going forth and trying to continuing to grow it and see, you know, if this is 100, what does 200 look like? You know, what's 250 look like? And getting up there and then growing and expanding the network. We've been talking about the talk has been whether Charlemagne is going to stay at Breakfast Club and all that shit, and he can't. You know what he, Chris Morrow, and Combat Jack saw. They started the Loudspeakers Network. Bro, if it's 2020, they started loudspeakers in probably like 13. You know, they saw the vision for having a podcast network 7 years ago, almost a decade ago. God bless Combat Jack and everything he stood for, and helping other shows sort of develop just a consistency. Because Combat Jack wasn't no time off with the Combat Jack show. Like wasn't a seasonal thing. You know, everybody else kind of treat Combat Jack and Mark Maron are the only niggas I know that's been doing it every week.
Yeah.
What? You know? So you're right, G. This is a listener's appreciation deal more than anything, because I don't know how seriously we still rocking if we didn't know people were tuned in. And I think our parents' feedback has been the dopest thing.
Yeah.
My dad was just like, bro, he's like, I learned so much from y'all.
Yeah, we had great moments. Like that moment in the studio was amazing, man. It was so much great energy in that room at that moment. Yeah. And it felt like everybody needed to hear every last word that day, so that was dope.
Yeah, man. So episode 99, and we can get off the somber shit. Let's get to the fun shit.
Oh shit.
Y'all ever seen a porn star in public? Never?
Not knowingly.
The point is, you know it.
Nah.
Lex?
I wish though.
I seen a unicorn one time.
No, a porn star.
That's why I called it unicorn.
That's what I call it.
I wasn't prepared for that, was I?
I was not. Talking to the mic. Pause. Tell us more.
Down L.A.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that's where you would see him.
Damn. I need to get to LA more.
Like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And he just randomly saw Cherokee.
You saw a legend.
Yeah.
You saw a legend in person. That's different. The legends hit a little different.
That's why I said it's a unicorn.
Yeah.
It's not all porn stars
or legends. Yeah. Some of them be regular. I've had the privilege of seeing both the unicorn and just the average one that's got enough scenes to go, I know you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Monty, how much of a sicko do you feel like?
Oh, don't do this to me.
No.
Don't do this to me.
When you recognize the one that's like, it's like not even like the.
Don't see.
Like not even the one that was like the main one. It was
don't
just like
make fun of me for that, bro, because I'm already self-conscious about sharing this sicko.
Oh no, this is great.
No, it's not great. This is terrible.
It is great because I would love to see some of those. Like But then again, I just go ahead.
No. What was you about to say?
Huh?
What was you about to say?
Nah, I'm on Lex thing. Like I need to go to LA more often, man.
But
I feel like I could bump into a lot more of them.
No, guess where they are now?
Atlanta,
Here.
Oakland.
Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I'm just saying. No, you know what it is? It's the awkward exchange of like she know you know who she is. And so you just like, hey. But so when we meet people, we do we do this thing where you go, even if you don't say where I know you from, you look at people a certain way, like I know you from somewhere, and it's not computing. And so because they get that all the time, they know that's what you're doing in the moment. And so I can't help it. I like it. It's every time it's happened, dead giveaway that I know exactly who you are. And they go, and they like, hey, shake hands and like say hi, and I'm like, how you been? Like, nigga, first of all, you don't know me. Don't.
Oh no, I know you.
I know you very well.
We know each other.
I was thinking about that the other. Obviously, being quarantined and being in the house, you get to start thinking about wild shit. But I started thinking about that and was like, that shit has happened to me so many times here. I'm not gonna do that. That's not fair. And just like, damn.
Oh, so you made me feel like the asshole since I didn't say the name.
But Cherokee's, that's royalty. Like if there was Porn Star Hall of Fame, she's in it.
Oh yeah.
A lot for our age demo, you know. She got so many of us in this age range to like manhood, like in a strange way. But yeah, I'm not gonna, because all Cherokee still ain't, she ain't making new scenes. At least she probably got a fans only. That's different. But I'm talking some of
She
them.
got a production company too.
Oh, see, she didn't move. She moved on. She ain't tripping at all. The ones I seen is still active.
Oh.
They thugging. Yeah. So man. Never mind. I thought it was gonna be a better conversation. Y'all just got me feeling like a fucking sicko now.
I know that's a good topic.
I'm waiting for you to go deep into it.
I just
Pause.
Pornhub was giving out free premium subscriptions because of the quarantine thing.
Say wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
OnlyFans.
No, the OnlyFans got hacked.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave that away. Huh?
Yeah.
So they shut that down.
That was real.
No, yeah. Based the way let my DMs tell it, that was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
OnlyFans is like that though.
OnlyFans. You know what OnlyFans is? Have you? Well, I did you do the whole Snapchat shit? Were you fucking with Snapchat at all? I wasn't fucking with Snap, but one of the homies that was fucking with Snap put me on a couple of porn stars that their accounts are private. If you pay,
What was Brett?
nigga, run it up.
Brett, what's his name? Something Angels. I remember them from Snapchat.
Ooh.
It was like some Brett out had like all these women in a house that had no furniture in Miami. Never mind.
Yeah, you was on a deep dark web. I don't know what you talking about. It was bruh that had all these chicks in a house in Miami with no furniture. Nigga, that's all you got for us? That's it?
And
That's
then you
it.
think about the type of movies L watch.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it. Nah, for sure. For real though. Because he used to have hella women. They just all they did was do like party promoting for like hella club promoting, and then they'll have all these videos at the crib, and then they started getting picked off one by one because Brett put them on or whatever, but they started getting picked off one by like athletes and all these niggas.
Oh, that's what happens. You just got to chalk that up to the game and go reset. Like you got to just go get a whole new.
Yeah, but they had grown into like stardom.
That's but see, that's where.
You couldn't just replenish that stock like
Yeah, you can. If you're not game goofy, if you're not game goofy, you get paperwork. Everybody sign a production company and go do you for the rest of your life, nigga. I'm getting 20% from everybody.
Yeah, nah, he wasn't that for. I think you're right.
That's
Monty really want to start this shit.
All right.
No, I had a conversation with Poe about starting some shit like that though. That shit was comedy.
It would be you two niggas to start that.
That
too,
was
by the
comedy.
way.
He was like, bro, I could definitely take this show on the road.
What I'm gonna start is I'm definitely doing the tell-all book about exes and ego and maturity. I'm in that age now. Little older. I've had some really immature breakups. Okay, now y'all leaving me out on a limb now.
Nah, because I'm still trying to hear what you're talking about.
Y'all leaving me out. I've had some really immature breakups.
Okay.
And as of recent, I've had some fairly sophisticated ones too. Where it's like a pivot.
What's the difference between a sophisticated and
It's actually not a big difference. Because at any point, the sophisticated one could go just like
because
that.
I feel like they all gonna end up being like that. They all gonna grow into like their own petty version.
They're sophisticated until they find out, oh, you got another bitch? You know, like it's sophisticated time being.
Have you ever had like a mutual parting of ways?
Have ever had a mutual party? You know what happens, and maybe this ain't for everybody, but what I've noticed is that it's over for somebody, and depending on how dope of a manipulator you are, you can force the other one to end it so you don't get to be the asshole. And I've definitely been that guy where I've been checked out.
Plant the seed.
Been checked out and just start doing wild shit so the person goes, you know what, I'm out. You know? So then that's on their conscience and not mine. That's some shitty shit to admit. I'm so sorry, but it's the truth.
Oh no, it's out there now.
It's out there. It's out there. That's fucked up. I shouldn't have said that.
It's all good. You planted the seed. It's cool.
You living your truth.
I'm living my truth, King.
Hey.
That's terrible.
We all adults, right?
Nobody in the room has ever done that.
What, plant the seeds?
I think that's actually the norm.
That is the norm, huh?
Yeah.
That's terrible though, bro. Don't put nobody through that. Like for what? Like I'm making fun of it now, but in hindsight, that's some really bad shit to do.
Money. Why else do you think that folks go into like a whole in the stratosphere on what they decide to partner up with?
What you mean?
I mean, like when folks start switching up, and it'd be
when they do the rebrand.
Yeah, it'd be like folks that they would have never.
We gotta
before.
talk about the rebrand
because like it'd be stuff like that. Like that's some real. That's some deeply rooted, seated shit that they can't have happen again. It's gonna happen again, but it's just a matter of like where it's coming from might be a easier blow. Which is some sick shit because if you start going out to the world and messing with folks that you wouldn't otherwise mess with out of not having the same not having the potential for the same feelings as a person that you just got done with, and now that's who you're with for a period of time, that's some sick shit. Because all they did was just take what you inserted in them and applied that into seeding that into now they're seeding that into the next person.
But do you think my thing is always, do you think the other person is aware of what's taking place? Because you can't. How often are people getting in relationships and there's no context about the ex? Like, I feel like that's a conversation that comes up. Is like, yo, my ex used to do this, or this is my ex, or if the circle's small enough, you've had some encounters with the ex, so you like that nigga was on a completely different type of time. Like, how you end up here? You know what I'm saying? Like what happened in between? And you start to get some context, and you either figure out that it's an attempt at an upgrade or it's an attempt at comfort. At just like a sure thing that's not gonna go bad that they get to be in control of, and that's strange to me. So I wonder how often the new nigga is aware of like, oh, you just here for comfort.
I think the one that's there for the one that ends up in the comfort zone is more than all right with that. And I believe that if a certain period of time passes while they're in that comfort, that they will start to grow the confidence off of believing that there's an actual dependency there when there isn't.
That getting too comfortable shit. It's like, don't do that, because then it implodes. Like somebody.
I've seen some situations where,
come on,
folks done got into that comfort zone, and they changed physically in that comfort zone to where they couldn't leave that comfort zone if they wanted to.
Nobody
like
ever
the person that went into that is not the person that is sitting in that now.
You're not the same. So
you can't even do the pivot that you may have thought you was going to do it.
So that's another conversation about maturity and realization, though. It's like how the nerve of us to enter into something and try to change someone. Like who the fuck do we think we are? This is exactly who this person was in the beginning, and now Cause you think you go manipulate them into pivoting? That's crazy. That's a crazy thought to have. But it's a normal sort of unspoken agreement that people enter into. Is like, such and such has their quirks, but I can change them. No, you can't. This person is exactly who they showed you to be once you get past all the weird, like, outer layer, like, visual shit where it's like the aesthetics where you're like, oh, who they are on social, who they are in public. Nigga, travel, move. Shit with duress is gonna arise. And then tell me if you like that person for real. Like, if you fuck with that person.
Shit, quarantine.
This nigga Bush coughed. See, then tell me that you in love with this person. And then, okay, this is my last thing about relationships, and I'm off it.
I got more. Go, keep going.
Okay. Patrice O'Neal has a bit about like versus love. Mm-hmm. Women hate that skit, but if anyone decided to listen, it would be the cheat code for women to unlock men. The love, nigga, there's people that I love that I genuinely don't fuck with. Mm-hmm. So the love shit really don't mean nothing the way liking you means something. Mm-hmm. Like, nigga, it's certain people I like to be around. Like, y'all make shit better. Be that person. Don't be the person I love and can't stand. You don't want that. It's like, that's stupid. Wow, I want love. Da, da, da. No, not for me. You do not. Bruh, love does not ensure anything with me. Because of the whole family concept.
No, that's real. Also, don't voice ultimatum. I would say just set what your ultimatum is. But
internally, don't say
don't
it.
Voice that motherfucker.
Because on sheer principle, now I gotta go fuck your ultimatum.
Bro,
Exactly.
just naturally, bro.
Every time.
Bro, naturally, man. Like, bro, just set what your threshold is that you won't allow somebody to cross, and that just be what it is for yourself.
That's it.
Don't be talking about that.
Don't say that out loud,
bro.
Why you do that,
bro?
Why you give me ultimatum?
Bro, niggas are all about challenges, bro. Like, you said, I can't do what?
let me show you.
I'll do this shit in 10 seconds,
bro. Like, man, as a matter of fact, don't wait up. And motherfucker be like, what?
On sheer principle,
bro. What are you talking about?
On sheer.
So where you gonna
principle.
lay your head at? How you gonna? What you mean? I've been living out of a backpack for. I used to live out of a backpack back in the day.
Yeah. You there's nothing. You can't break me,
bro.
You can't. I'm a different type of sick. Like,
bro, I just need draws. What you mean?
Hey.
If I switch my draws, bro, I can live out here for about a good few weeks.
Hey, I'm a different level of savage.
Shit. Nah, bro, I would never. I can't even out him, bro.
All right, people. Relax. We're doing a podcast.
I would never forget with my nigga. Not you, but I'm not gonna announce who it is. But I won't even. Bro, I would never forget when one of my niggas came by my crib after having a spat with his girl, and my nigga had a bag, like he had a duffel, and his duffel had he put out the duffel because he was going out that night. Bro, why did his duffel have so many essentials? Like, this man had the cologne, the soap, the hair stuff is like everything you would possibly need.
To fuck
changes
around.
Of clothes, shoes for going in a club or going in a bar. Bro, like,
had the hard bottoms or the sneakers,
bro,
just in case.
Pick and choose, my nigga. Like, bro, just all the essentials that you would need. I'm like, bro, do you plan on going back, my nigga? Like, this ain't no safe haven for you, bro. You going back? It's like, I'll figure it out, bro. That's all cats need, bro. Just put everything in a duffel and go.
Man, type of time I be on.
What's up?
That's it. That's me. That's what I be on, G.
Oh, okay.
I
got it. I got more, but we can save it for now, man.
I got a hot take for the room.
What you got?
Breaking Bad. We all fans?
Yes.
Yeah. Where's it rank shows for y'all?
You gonna say something like Better Call Saul is better than that or something?
Why you ruining my? Hey, we have a show to do here.
My bad.
There's theatrics, there's performance, there's production. You just go undermine my whole take.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even read that. I swear I didn't even read that on the program, bro. I was just
Damn.
My bad.
Let me
Go
start
ahead.
over.
Yeah, start
Breaking Bad. We all fans here? Mm-hmm. This nigga's a dick. Where does it rank for show history of shows? How high is The Wire for y'all?
The Wire's high. The Wire is even higher when they got to the last episode and showed nigga that they just cycled in a whole nother group, like to do the exact same thing. So that was player.
So The Wire's high.
And then Breaking Bad, by far, the scene where she had took the money out of the stash, and my nigga just started laughing, bro. Just laughing in the ditch underneath the house, like this bitch has never had a piece of understanding about this situation. Yeah. Actually, and then Ozark too.
Ozark is up there. Y'all not answering the question. Where does Breaking Bad rank?
Honestly, I put it at 1 with the conversation that we had about The Wire and Game of Thrones, how they botched it with the
Endings. Where's Breaking Bad for you?
It's somewhere in the top 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Breaking Bad top 5.
Top 5. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
You know what I put in negative though?
What?
Lost, nigga. Fuck that show.
Fuck Lost.
Fuck
Lost.
Bro, to this day, I'm still mad at Lost, bro.
Fuck Lost.
Because they made me catch up on Lost. And I was like 9 seasons behind. I had to catch up on Lost and to find out that, my bad.
Lost and Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter was so solid.
Dexter started off hard.
Dexter was so solid for them to do that to us.
Dexter started off hard. Okay, but
go ahead, my bad. We getting off.
Oh, Sons of Anarchy is up there.
Sons of Anarchy for sure.
I'm missing one that I do. Somebody already said Thrones, but Better Call Saul, man. It's just as slow as
What season are they on?
They're in season 4 or 5.
5.
Ooh, never mind. I gotta walk that back. I gotta walk that all the way back. What season are they in?
4.
Ooh, never mind. I take it back. Because I was about to say Better Call Saul is fucking with it, but the fact that they're in season 4 already, and it's as slow as it is, because Breaking Bad started off really slow.
Means that they're stretching it.
Not even that they're stretching it. It's not built around as much action as Breaking Bad eventually got to.
But it's a pretty solid spinoff though. Like when it comes
there's not a spinoff fucking with.
Got it. Because spinoffs don't usually go in a great.
Hi,
direction.
this is Monty Draper in No IGLG, Lex, Push, Maki. You are on the Meet the Brave podcast, sir.
Yo, what it do? How you doing? How's everybody feeling right now?
Why you sound like a civil rights speech, nigga? What's up?
Excuse me, my brother. Excuse me, my good brother.
He was just listening to Jay Electronica.
They said you was over there just listening to Jay Electronica.
Are you ready?
For Jehovah's Return. What's up with you, G?
Chilling, bro. Chilling, man. Just wanted to see what's up with my people, man.
Recording right now. Say something for the people, then I'm gonna hit you back.
All right, what's up, peoples?
Oh.
Y'all stay safe out there.
All right, bro. I'm hit you
Hey
back.
man, where my nigga at, bro? He need to come back out, bro.
This verse so
him, man.
This verse so hyphy.
Free him.
This verse is crazy.
What's his name again?
Who is this? This is Q and nobody. His niggas ain't credited. There we go.
Damn.
That's the new wave. All right.
Before you change subject,
Okay.
I still want to know why was you about to say Better Call Saul?
Nah, it's stupid now. Because y'all just ruined it for me. It's like Breaking Bad is only 6 seasons? 5? This shit is already near that. It's going to take them 10 seasons to accomplish what Breaking Bad did. And that's why Breaking Bad is so genius, because of how short the seasons are. Better Call Saul is just a dope-ass story so far.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, they did miss a beat on any one of the episodes to me.
Oh.
I feel like Westworld could be that.
Westworld. I'm fucking with
Westworld's dope.
Westworld. Yeah, Westworld is amazing.
Okay.
Actually,
you guys
Westworld. I
don't
still
judge
need to
me.
watch season 2 to get.
You don't. You ain't.
They're in season 3,
You
right?
don't fuck with Westworld,
I just started fucking with it. Like,
but you fuck with it though.
yeah.
Oh no,
But
you
see,
good. You good.
I'm watching it because everybody kept telling me to watch the shit. So once I found out,
That's
what the
because they know
premise
you.
is, now I have to eat shrooms before I watch every episode, and I gotta take it apart that way. So my whole dealing with this show is on some old other planet shit. So I have to wait so I can see what ends up happening. And I'm just got done with season 1, like
Okay.
yesterday.
You know, season 1 was nuts, but I haven't seen season 2 yet. So
Yeah, I haven't.
They're
on 3.
starting season 3.
They're 3.
Yeah.
I haven't watched 2, and I haven't
Because I
started
know what it. I'm
2 was crazy.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm not gonna do a spoiler, but I know the dude's not there no more. But now they're surrounding it around the one lady, right?
They pivot. Westworld pivots like
like when she came out of the.
It pivots in a timeline.
oh, so it's not a complete like a whole nother show type
That's
shit.
the thing, bro. Like the payoff in season 2 was crazy.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about Breaking Bad is that it was on regular TV.
Yeah.
Like if you exclude like HBO's, like Showtime and all those,
That was the FX, right?
it was like
No. AMC.
AMC. Okay.
that's the thing that's crazy about the shock value that show had.
But AMC and FX operate on some whole other FFC regulations where they just be getting shit off.
That's
Like
true.
the Sons of Anarchy, what they were able to get away with on FX, Louis being on FX, AMC has Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, so they're doing some far
Bro,
out
I'm
shit
trying
on
to tell
cable
y'all.
TV.
I'm trying to tell y'all. Watch Devs. It's on Hulu. I believe it might be an FX show. I believe, but yeah, Devs is crazy. It's the creator of Ex Machina.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Ex Machina is still one of the more underrated movies, and then that film score, bro. Like, I bought that record just to listen to that film score over and over and over again.
Have you seen Quiet Place?
No,
Yes.
no. Crazy?
You ever seen The Quiet Place?
I have not.
Anyone that's into music needs to watch it.
Yeah, because they have to lean on music in that one. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, that's what I was getting to. We cover music, so it makes me proud of the show. Music means something hella specific and holds a particular space, and the music that can touch you and change your life in a powerful way is like it exists, but those type of records stand on their own. To Pimp a Butterfly, let's go current records for me that have done that. To Pimp a Butterfly is one of those that just kind of stopped time for me. Twisted Dark stopped time for me. It just created these different worlds. Astro World did that. Drake's Take Care did that.
Scorpion.
Nah, Scorpion didn't do that for me. You almost got me. Scissors Control did that. Then there's those, and then it's a whole nother gear of like another world, like Love Below type shit. Love Below, Channel Orange. I would actually put To Pimp a Butterfly up there with those. That it's not down there with and Damn
Channel,
actually is
Channel Orange for sure. Dude.
Damn actually is now too. But Channel Orange was one of those records that when it came out, I didn't play nothing else for
Damn
probably
now.
like 6 months.
Yeah, when Damn dropped, nigga, that stopped time.
No. Damn stopped time, but I'm talking about like where you just kept listening to, like not turning it off.
Got it.
And
Yeah, Damn was one of those you just had to hear once. You was like, fuck.
like that's exactly what
then
I
you
said.
came
I said,
back to it
I
and
said,
it's like, oh, shit,
I
I
said
just feel
fuck. I said fuck. It was so much in Damn that I didn't understand,
Oh yeah, that's my favorite Kendrick album.
and it just like it kept going over my head, and I kind of pride myself on being able to get it in first listen. I'm happy to admit that that shit, it was too much, bro. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
You
And
know what I love about Damn, sorry to cut you off? It's the most truest to hip hop album in a long time. It's so sample heavy, but it does it in like the truest essence of hip hop.
and it's bruh, and it's clean.
Yeah.
is clean.
Yeah,
where
crazy clean.
in a space where everybody's trying to, we just talked about it, the slump and trying to recreate the Dilla shit. Nah, it has the cleanliness of To Pimp a Butterfly. Yet To Pimp a Butterfly feels like jazz. It feels like a genre that exists already. I don't know what Damn is. I still don't know what some of those sounds are. Like I still listen to those records and go, what the hell is happening right now? Channel Orange has this nostalgic feeling where it feels like some Stevie Wonder shit, but it also feels like a whole nother different world to me. Gambino, discography wise, has continuously made these different worlds. Nigga, that shit he dropped last weekend. Oh my God. And the Quiddy, salute to Quiddy, because Quiddy's really good about just being on top of shit. Like, yo,
Is
Gambino.
this what he had on his website or
On the website, yeah. This is the one he put on the website, then took it down, and then now it's up on the other DSPs.
Got it.
And so everybody was trying to figure out where the feels like summer shit was gonna exist. It's like, cause it's on the EP, but it ain't really. And it was such a fire song. But we talking about almost 2 summers ago for that song, right? Or 1 summer.
2.
It's 2 summers. Yeah. So a single rocked for 2 summers, and it appears on this album, and where it appears in the track list, it provides so much context to what he was experimenting with sonically in that space. I can't wait I hope he does interviews about this record, because it's that special, it's that fearless, and we were talking about the partnership with he and Ludwig. Is one of the more incredible things too, just because of how Ludwig accepts the challenge of making specific type shit, right? So when he got the call from TDE about the Black Panther shit, he went, "Oh, it's Afrobeat, like African music." Ludwig packed him and his wife up and just moved to Africa to study for real. And I'm just like, nigga, what? Like who? And so whatever part of the world they were on making this new Bino record, everybody should just go there and get some of that, because it's. Me and Pooh were talking about it this morning, how much fandom and inspiration can inform your own creativity. And in this Gambino record, I hear Outkast, I hear Prince, I hear Steely Dan, I hear the Beatles, I hear Kendrick, I hear all these different worlds. I hear Parliament. I hear like Gap Band harmonies and shit, and I'm just like, I was stuck. And that lost feeling I was talking about earlier in the show, it all went away. And I know that's not everyone's connection to art, but it's mine. And I'm so glad that we have a platform to sort of talk about that, because there are people and entities that are out here channeling like that to really, really just share an experience, like an honest, bare bone experience. Bro, that shit was hitting like I listened to it in AirPods, I listened to it on the phone speaker, and then I put it on the speakers in the room, and just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping. Like I wasn't, because in the headphones, nigga, I kept turning it off to make sure wasn't nobody following, because I was walking Maki last night. I was like, yo, somebody following me? Because it's these little voices in there, and you just like, bro, this shit is trippy. And I don't know how long it's been since I've had an experience like that with an album. And and then immediately I wanted to share that thought and that feeling with the world. And I sat with it hella long before I pressed send, because I was like, why? Why? Like, it'll find who it's supposed to find. But then I woke up this morning ultimately glad that I did, because so many people responded by thank you. Like, thank you in all caps. Like, I posted it because I put it up at probably 1:30 or some shit, fairly late this morning, and so many people responded like, yo, thank you, I needed that shit. And I was like, damn, art really does have that impact. Whenever L shares something, I'm like, bro, I keep going back to the Cole shit. You know, I'm bugging. For Your Eyes Only had that impact on me fairly recent, and it was because of how much I dismissed that record. Like, I completely dismissed For Your Eyes Only. My own bias with Cole. I was just in a really strange space. And L, on a random Saturday, that album was probably a year and a half old, goes, "This is hitting hard today." And I went, I ain't even listened to this. And went, oh, For Your Eyes Only makes sense, because when you've had as much success as them, you kind of get to see who's there because they want to be there, and you see who's there because they supposed to be there, and they gotta have some sort of hot take or something to say. They just there to say that they were there. And I love the fact that artists that are of that stature are going, fuck casting a general net. I'm gonna shrink it down, make it boutique specific to weed out all the weirdos that ain't here to just enjoy shit. They here just because they think they're supposed to be here. If you don't like For Your Eyes Only, bro, it's something wrong with you.
Just here to critique, bro.
Yeah, if you don't like For Your Eyes Only, it's you going through something that won't allow you to receive how beautiful of an album that is. Fuck bias, fuck with your taste. It's subjective. No, it's something wrong with you. I can say that definitively. This Gambino record, if you going through something, turn it on, and I texted to the homie last night. I was like, turn it on, put it on repeat, and heal to it, because it's somebody I knew was going through some shit. And that record, like, oh my gosh. And the idea about the music industry and music, I don't want to hear none of that shit, dog. Because over the last decade, some of the greatest albums ever have been made. Ever have been made over this last decade. So music ain't dead, hip hop ain't dead, R&B and soul ain't dead, jazz ain't dead, ain't none of that shit dead. It's just new, and we have a really hard time with appreciating shit in real time. And so I don't want it to be lost on me and the people who trust my taste on any level. Like, yo, please stop whatever you're doing and turn that record on and heal to that shit. Because I you know what I get jealous about? I get jealous about something like getting to hear what's going on in real time. Because I listen to that record still and get like start to feel shit. Whenever that album comes on, because I'm like, nigga, is it the same song for the whole album? And it's just like interpretations of the same, like they just jammed on the same chords for a session. Like how that album was written, how it was produced, and how it almost didn't come out is such a beautiful story. And it's one of the most amazing albums ever. Same thing with Off the Wall and Thriller, for that matter. People debate back and forth, but
what was that song when Marvin Gaye was singing while he was laying on the couch?
it's from the What's Going On sessions, bro. Not from the sessions, from the rehearsals, but this nigga just laying on the couch. Just those
over
pictures.
There belting though, bro. Like, come that on, shit man. Was, yeah. You
know, and so I wanted to. Last night I texted you. What did I say last night? G, it's like it's out of this world, and I wanted to. I couldn't wait to today to come talk about that, because it reminds me of elementary and middle school and high school when Get Rich or Die Trying came out. Nigga, like it was one of the more bonding times in school, because it was like everybody fucked with that record.
Bro, I tell you a story. So when that album came out, we were going to, as a school, we were going to
on a field trip.
The A's game.
Uh huh.
I remember Frank talking about Brandon. It was Brandon and James Hernandez. They were like listening to it, and it was on Brandon's iPod, and he like let me have the iPod, bro. I put that shit on. It was like 2 minutes later, I realized everybody had already moved. That was like literally in like the Oakland.
It stopped time.
Like in the parking lot, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, there's nothing there for like a 50-foot radius, and I was just standing there and I was listening to I think it was it wasn't even like one of the singles.
It was one of the B-sides, yeah.
It was like You're Not Like Me or some shit.
Now I can't. What album has better B-sides than Get Rich or Die Trying?
Nothing. Like that for us, bro.
What Up Gangster? Like everybody knows that song.
That whole album.
That's the one with Heat, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Heat is.
That was my shit.
See,
That was my shit.
Who just randomly goes, Heat was my shit off Get Rich or Die Trying?
Bro, I don't even do licks, and I was in there motherfucking like, nigga, let's do it, bro.
Huh?
That was like number.
Yeah, Heat is towards the end. Like
Heat is towards the end, yeah.
The end, bro. The end is at 19. Like that's
Bruh, but see that, and that's the shit that just makes it all so magical. The fact that people can collective and that's the other part too. Like I can't wait to see the liner notes for the Gambino record. I think he's put them out, but I want to read them to see how many people worked on this album.
Oh yeah, he did. Each song has like 15 people.
Jesus Christ.
That's another thing. Like it lets you know that it's a project that he worked on for a few years.
Oh yeah, but he always goes away, you know. And
the thing is, like a lot of artists don't really either they don't have the license for that or they don't have like the career like.
it's a luxury. It's a luxury and a privilege. And you
Kendrick does that too.
Dot does it, Cole does it, but they also aren't subscribing to that idea that I need to be lit. Sean does it. They also aren't subscribing to that idea, that notion that I got to be lit and be in y'all face all the time.
I think they kind of built that too, because like someone like Drake doesn't really do it,
But he goes away. He does his solos. He goes away.
the Drakes and
Bro, Drake is already right now.
Yeah, but we talking about him.
That nigga be in his house, bro.
you got a big ass house.
Bro, he did that song from the house, bro. That shit was hilarious,
Bro,
man.
life is good. I can't stop listening to that song.
Nah.
I can't turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying? So it's all that to say there's really, really incredible art being made right now. We talked about White Day.
Shalumbo.
You fucking sicko. Mo Green. Salute to Mo Green. Mo Green goes, I fuck with L. Because I be in the gym on the same shit. I was
my
like,
nigga,
all
man.
you niggas are crazy.
My nigga.
Working out to Janae is some sick shit, bro. I stand by that. And you guys got a whole different level of sicko mode.
Hey man, I like to have both.
The R&B record?
Okay, you're a serial killer too. It's y'all. It's all a collective trait of like, bro, y'all not in here working out the R&B.
I like to have both perspectives.
And it's not even R&B. It's chill. It's chill wave.
Yeah.
Chill. Working out the chill wave is crazy. I'm sorry, bro.
Shit, I work out to like her yoga shit, like where you get just
Okay.
like the
Now you
just like the
fucking. Now you
tones.
fucking with me.
Huh?
Now you fucking with me.
All right,
Bro,
bro.
I take in albums when I work out.
Yeah.
No. Facts. No. Fact. Me too. But yeah, it's other shit that drop that y'all could listen to that when you cooking and shit. Y'all could totally consume that on a different level.
Buddy.
What do we? G? What? Anything from your rundown that which you absolutely wanted to get to?
Nah. Toxic Mike dropped. One of his personalities.
Oh, yeah, Weekend. So we got a running thing where Weekend is a toxic Michael Jackson. This L's theory. You rolling?
Spot on.
Perfect. There we go. So one of his personalities dropped. Y'all fuck with it?
To me, this is just me. I haven't heard a bad thing come from Weekend. Weekend's least critically received album is my favorite of his. No.
Nah, the one where he created that like Asian atmosphere
Yeah.
to the side.
It's one of my favorite listening experiences I've ever had.
I forgot what it's called, but that is a great.
Oh, what is that album called? Starboy is on. No. It's the one before Starboy.
It's before that one too. It was before the dark one he did. That was the one right after he dropped.
What's after Hills Have Eyes?
Trilogy.
What's before
Trilogy, my
So
bad,
so it's so yeah. It's whatever was right after Trilogy. Then
Yeah, it's the one right after Trilogy.
what do we know what that is?
I'm about to find it real quick.
Okay,
but
whatever
yeah,
whatever was right after Trilogy, I thought was amazing.
No, that shit was great.
And everybody was like, "This is his worst body of work," and I was like, "This shit's." I just because I had never heard no shit like it. Like even
Kissland.
nigga, that shit. Cause I had never heard nothing like that, and I got this thing about shit like people putting me like being put on shit and being exposed to things that I had never heard before. That I immediately give it you doing that, G? Because I ain't never seen nobody do it before. So to be the first, it's something about being the first one to do some shit that is so impossible to me that I go, yeah, you got it. Because I just don't know how the fuck you arrived at trying some shit like this. You know, it's such a specific sort of just like feat, and it's the challenges thing. Maybe that's what it is. It's like you setting up some challenges for yourself, and you go achieve the shit. The Gambino shit. I've never heard nothing like that before. There's a song, the halfway mark, they flip into some trap shit. Oh fuck! And it's clear that they were fucking with a real 808 machine or some sort of drum programmer where the sequencing is impossible to duplicate, because some of them drum sequences that they get in some of those songs are just like, bro, you humanly can't come up with this shit unless you tinkering with a machine that you could eventually find it, some sort of modulator. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What you think of the new Weekend album?
That's back to my point. Niggas is doing shit I've never heard before. It don't sound like nothing. And so I'm just like, I don't know if I'm the right person to judge Weeknd specifically, because he ain't made nothing bad to me.
But it's sonically on the it's on the same Gambino. Like I needed, like, you know how much of a music snob I am. Like I literally heard it and like instantly wanted to make something like it. You know, so it's like, to me that's like
The measuring
the
stick.
most flattering thing you can give to a piece of work.
Inspiring.
Imitate.
Yeah, the new Weeknd. Shout out to Toxic Mike. What's it called?
After Hours.
Jesus.
By the way, that title track is amazing.
Yeah,
But
it's like atmospheric,
After Hours is crazy. Yeah. Like that song is nuts. But yeah, I think it's something that everybody's gonna have to sit on. This isn't one that you critique the Weekend of, no pun intended, but
They do though. They're going to.
No, you have to.
They're going to.
People have to, especially because people have nothing better to do right now. So you have to critique it right now. But it's something that's gonna grow. It's gonna grow its own legs. But I do like that he was fully committed to this particular character. I'm just trying to look at the. I'm trying to.
That's what the side by side him and Bino remind me of like the commitment to the concept, right. And I maybe that's what's maybe that's why Kendrick stands out, because even as back as like OD, like the Kendrick Lamar EP and OD, there's a commitment to a character and a narrative of the thread that's through the entire album that creates a cohesive listening experience. And Weeknd, I think that's what Kissland was so dope. Like it was like a character being created. And After Hours, there's a theme that's set from beginning and runs through end, and so there's a beginning, middle, and end. You know, and the Bino record, and it's not. And I think when people hear that, it sounds like it's being set up, or it's an intentional, or it's the Tory Lanez type shit where it's blatant. It's like no. There's just a thread and a wave that niggas rode to help tell a story that make it an experience. Like Thriller, there's a theme. You know, I don't know. That's just how I think about the shit.
No, I definitely agree. I think, and Poe brought this to my attention too, that it may be playing off of. I need to go watch this film, but Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yes, Yes, I need to go watch it to even get an idea of that. But like, I think that's pretty interesting if that has anything like any connection with that album or whatever. But hey, I fuck with it. But then again, Weeknd can't really do wrong in my book. Like,
why is that? What got Weeknd to that place where he can't do any wrong? Because he's
the trilogy, bro. The first
it is a trilogy.
The first three mixtapes that he did
They're
before
perfection.
it became trilogy.
Their perfection
was like enough of a consumer, like enough consistency to the consumer on a sound that after that everything else just was adaptation that grew from there. So like he can go into whatever world he wants to go into, and he will still get that exact same, I guess, support from the fan base.
Nah, it's the people that enter in that space where just because of what you delivered, you get a fair shot every time. I don't know. It's a really hard thing to accomplish to have a flawless discography, no matter what genre you're in, but specifically,
I mean, also when you're Mike 2.0, Mike reincarnated, then you get that.
All right,
you know,
man.
if you just
continuation
of Mike's career,
go too far. You just gotta go
you know
too
what
far.
I'm saying? If you just continue Mike's career, but just give us like all the shit that Mike couldn't say because he didn't have a childhood, then you can definitely just like pull off this
Wait,
type of shit.
so Weeknd is a cultured Michael Jackson? Shut the fuck up. You're a sicko. They gonna take this show off air with the Michael Jackson slander. You gotta stop, man. What are you saying?
If you could dance like Chris Brown, he would have a fair argument.
Yeah,
If Weeknd could?
but then that'd be
Does Weeknd do
but
like
then that'd be a
choreography
problem.
and shit, or is he pretty stiff?
He does like Neo.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Wanna know what's messed up though? I think I can answer why Weeknd doesn't dance. Cause since he's so toxic, he chose to do drugs instead of dance.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you.
Y'all gotta stop.
No,
Y'all gotta stop.
no, real life, because
It's one or the other. You don't
It's
get
not both.
nah,
According to
because what happened?
hey.
No, if you go back to the episode in Rick and Morty when they separated the two, the toxic side was able to get like all like the real like deep talent part. I mean like the the darker part of the talent, and then what was left behind was like all the happy go lucky shit. When you happy go lucky, you be dancing your ass off. So Mike was out here dancing his ass off, but
Mike was on dope, bro. What are y'all talking about?
But Mike slowly but surely started losing his voice, right? Where do you think his voice went?
Toxic Mike.
Toxic Mike.
I'm done with you niggas, bro. I swear. I never been more dead in my life.
You feel me?
I've never been more dead in my
on,
life.
man.
Tell me what y'all got anything else? What we missing?
Written testimony.
No, we talked about this shit last week. You want me to go back to it?
I thought you were gonna hit up.
Oh, I was. Oh, it's too late in the show now. He not gonna answer the phone. Let's see. Should I set it up in any way?
I mean, yeah, it's perfect reason for people to sit through the whole thing. The Easter egg at the end.
Damn, he's not gonna answer though.
Yo.
Oh shit, you did answer, bro.
What's
you
up, my dude?
not much. You're on the podcast. Don't say anything incriminating
I'm on the podcast right now.
right now.
Oh shit! All right, hold on. Let me turn my TV off, man.
This is Monty Draper in no IGLG calling from the Meet the Brave podcast. We have legendary Locksmith on the line.
Welcome.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
What's up with it, bro?
Nah, I had to call because we was about to get back into a written testimony. We talked about it last week, but it's not. You were one of the few people that I respect that went, hey, but I agree with Joe. You care to clarify?
Well, I don't. Well, listen. I agree with some of the sentiment. I don't agree with some of the stuff. You know, like here's the problem with what Joe said. Before I get into my opinion, the problem with Joe said is the way he said it, because he's doing it to get people's attention. You know what I mean? He's doing it kind of to troll, like Jay-Z smacked Jay Electronica around, and Jay-Z did this, and you know what I mean? So he's kind of like belittling Jay Electronica in a way, but then he's still saying, Jay Electronica, I love you, and I listened to the album. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? So basically, essentially what he's saying is like Jay-Z is just a better rapper, and it shows clearly on that album. And this is supposed to be Jay Electronica's debut album. So I really don't have no problem with that. Now, I understand, but if I was Jay Electronica, I would have a problem with the way Joe's wording is. Basically, he's saying like, you know, he's kind of being disrespectful about it. You know what I mean? He's like, Jay-Z slapped you around and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is kind of disrespectful.
Nah,
So that's the issue with Joe Budden with that. But I do share the sentiment as like, yo, this is your debut album, and every song is basically featuring Jay-Z, which is no problem with that. I'm okay with that too. You know what I mean? Because I listened to the album, I like it. I've listened to it multiple times. You know, before we was on full lockdown, I drove down to LA and I played it the whole way on repeat, and I was just listening to it. I love the beats. I actually like the beats. How it's like, you know, like more old school, you know, more Jay Electronica, you know, these type shit.
Yeah.
But I will say that Jay-Z is just more advanced of a rapper than Jay Electronica. I mean, I'm just, to be completely like, Jay Electronica is super dope. He has these esoteric, deep bars, but I feel like for your debut album, I do kind of feel like, you know, you only gave us, what, like 9 verses, 10 verses? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your debut album. So Jay-Z is on basically every song rapping on every song, at least except for like 2. There's only 9 actual rapping songs. So let's just say 7 of those songs, Jay Electronica is only doing 1 verse, so that's 7 verses, and then the other 2 he's doing 2 verses. So that's only 9 verses in the whole album. And it's just like, if it's something that's super incredible, like, yo, these bars are so incredible. Like, I've heard better Jay Electronica, and to me, I do feel like he was leaning a little bit too much on. To me, it was like a Christian. It was like a gospel, like a Christian album, except he's Muslim, or Black Nation Islam, a 5%er. So he was leaning a lot on, like, this is my testimony, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. But if you only giving me 9 verses and 3 of them, you know what I'm saying? And like 30% of those bars is just talking about, you know, Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, then it just kind of takes it. Whereas Jay-Z did the same thing, but he did it in a fly way that was so dope and so lyrically tight to me. So that's why I got to take a few points away from Jay Electronica as far as, like, from an MC standpoint, like, yo, that's incredible. That's just my opinion.
I got you. So for me, and the only reason I wanted to call you because you're you, and where we hold you in regards, you got a whole different outlook. So, but for me, as a couple clarifying questions though, are you holding on to the debut album, the word or the idea like his debut album, and what was your meter prior to this release for Jay Elect? Were you checking for him? How much of the shit had you consumed up until this point?
So Jay Electronica, I love his first collection of songs that came out. What was it, like 2009 or 2008 or I don't know, whenever that was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eternal Sunshine, I like that. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, when he was rapping over the different beats from the score and all. I thought that shit was incredible. I played that mixtape when he was rapping over those Jay Dilla instrumentals.
Oh, so you're qualified. You know okay, yeah, you speaking differently.
Yeah,
okay,
come on, dude.
Okay.
Come on, man. Of course.
I know. I just had to make sure.
I love Jay. So I mean, honestly, Exhibit C wasn't even. I mean, I thought Exhibit C was dope. But, you know what I mean? I was more on that, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm going to turn to a Protestant, Christian, Muslim, Buddha man, you know what I'm saying? I loved all that. I was like, yo, because he was rapping like old school, but he was doing it in a new way. So I was like, damn, and it inspired me because I was just like, damn, he's using Willy Wonka samples and all this kind of stuff. I was like, that means that really inspired me when I did my Labyrinth mixtape. I was like, man, I can use whatever I want. I don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, you know why I'm trash though? Cause I had Big Smoke. I had Big Smoke for you, and now you just completely killed my whole shit, bro.
What, you thought I didn't listen to Jay Electronica?
Man, not cause now it feels goofy when you say it. But my beef with Joe is that he genuinely ain't listening to the shit. So he ain't been checking for him. So the context in which he was pulling from was.
I don't think so. I think Joe told. What do you mean? Joe totally listened to Jay Electronica.
I don't think. The beef with Joe, bro, is every time I listen and he has a take on something, it'd be so uninformed. Like this is
what Joe is saying. Jay Electronica. I'm just gonna give you I'm just gonna take the filter off. All right. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Jay Electronica is a very dope, poetic MC. But Jay Electronica no MC is afraid of Jay Electronica. Like, nobody, like, if I'm on a song with Jay Electronica, I'm not about to be like, what? Oh, shit, because Jay Electronica is very...
But, Locke, why is that...
like, limited.
Why is that still the meter in which we live by for hip-hop? To be afraid of who you on a record with?
Let me explain to you. Let me give you the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Because not everybody's going to be like that. You're perfectly right. Like, Jay Electronica, like, when you're alone and you're doing your own thing, but the problem is Jay Electronica, to me, in this album is lacking a lot of things. He's lacking in flow. We already know that. Jay, like, he kind of raps off beat, on beat, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? He's not about to, like, you know, do all these different kind of flows. It's pretty much a linear flow, and that's fine. I like that. And Jay-Z is kind of like that. But Jay-Z, the problem is when you're rapping next to Jay-Z, you got to step it up. You can't just, you got to give your A game, and I don't feel like that was Jay Electronica's A game. I've heard him rap better. I've heard him have deeper, more meaningful, poetic bars. And when you're rapping next to Jay-Z, he can't really do what Jay-Z Jay-Z do. So you got to be the best you. And he wasn't really doing that.
How do
Kind
we?
of like, oh, okay, this is good enough just to get by.
How do we get past the point? How do we completely look past the ops? Just flipping that on its head, right? Like Hove's never rapped like that. Like we've never heard Hove like that. So why isn't that the measuring stick of like, yo, this nigga got Hove in a whole nother bag? Why isn't that the measuring stick of cool?
To me, he didn't have Hove in a whole nother bag. He had Hove. He didn't have Hove in it. Hove was doing Hove. He was just exploring. I've heard Hove say a lot of those same things. He just went in a little bit more depth because he was more in that realm where he could do that. But I've heard Hove rap about that. I mean, if you listen to that Magna Carta, he was talking a lot of that kind of shit. He was talking that 5% of shit. He's talked about that on other stuff. So it's just like, that just, to me, it just shows the diversity of what Jay-Z can do as a rapper. And that's dope. Where it's just like, Jay Electronica, you just got to step it up, bro. You rapping with Jay-Z, you got to step it up. And to me as an MC, it's not all about competitiveness, but when the margin is so great, to me, it's just kind of like, it kind of makes me think a little bit. Now, it doesn't make me not enjoy the album, because really the only thing I've been listening to, you know what I mean, that's came out lately. So it's not that I don't enjoy it, but a large part of why I enjoy it is because of Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, when I heard Watch the Throne, it's like I got some of what Kanye did. And at first, when I first heard Watch the Throne, I was like, man, this nigga Kanye is kind of cooking Jay-Z. But then as I got over time, I was like, nah, Jay-Z is a way better rapper. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, once you like live with it for a while, whereas with Jay Electronica, it's like Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan. And this is coming from a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, all right, you can't.
I think that's exactly why your take and the clarity of it is resonating way different than Joe. You're speaking from an informed place, and I stand on that because of, again, I just telling the homies here on the show, listening to the Joe podcast since the beginning of it, how many things bruh's had to backtrack just because he wasn't informed and just jumping out the window on shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're assuming he's not informed. You was about to assume I wasn't informed until you talked to me.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I'm saying I'm listening to you now, but I'm going based off of history of the show, his Tyler take, his Big Sean take, like all this shit about the people who've been doing the work that he speaks of and that he wants to do has just been off the wall. It's like, bro, how are you getting that from without any that wouldn't be what you pull if you had context. And so my shit with the JLX shit, it even for you is like how was the God talk too much, and that's Eternal Sunshine. That's Exhibit C. That's Exhibit A. That's everything we got up until this point.
No. Exhibit A and Exhibit C is better than any. It's just way better, bro.
It's better, but I'm talking content. You talking pocket? I'm talking content.
No, the content was better. It was more, bro. I'm just telling. This is just my opinion. To me, the content was better. It just had more layers. Whereas this stuff was just kind of just like, there's a few like layer stuff, but most of it is kind of like filler Nation of Islam talk. It's like filler Nation of Islam talk. Like I'm just being honest, man. And I love Jay Electronica. And if somehow he hears this, I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I've done shows with him, open up. I know y'all seen. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying that as just from a critiquing standpoint, I've heard him do some of the same things better. And that's okay. People can say the same thing about me and the things that I've done, because as an artist, you're going to repeat yourself time. And I just feel like that ain't it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like it was just, that ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's good. Listen to it. But that ain't it, dog. Now Jay-Z sounds sharp.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I guess that's where I'm at is like I don't know, because we've seen it, right? We've seen the attempt at collabs and being in rooms. I feel like people bring the best out of people, and if it's my debut, it's not a single one of us, bro, that a debut or a release of that magnitude that's like, nigga, I'm not gonna not have Hove on every song if that nigga in the room with me and he want to be on every song like that. That's an honor and a stamp beyond anything. And then to have him show his ass because he knows there's some part of the competitiveness that's like, yo, I'm on this. I got to show out for real. Like and come bring your A game. That's a stamp. That
Jay-Z. But that's Jay-Z. What about Jay Lex? Like, bro, we haven't heard nothing in 10 years. That's a full body of work, and it's just like you just gotta come. I'm just saying, man, it's a good project. I fuck with it. I listen to it. You know what I mean? But it does not move Jay Electronica. He does not move in my pantheon of rappers. He does not move. He is where he is. It didn't lower him. It just kind of stuck where I thought he was. He's just right where he's at. It didn't be like, yo, he just went up a level. Did you hear Jay Elect? It was just like, oh, okay. Hov, it's just like, damn, man, this nigga's 50 years old. He's still spitting better than damn near everybody. So
Yeah, I don't think Jay Elect is planning on rapping anymore,
though. Jay Elect. That just gives more credit to Hov and Jay Elect. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bump the album. You know, it's all good.
No, that's fact. What do you before we let you go, bro? What are you working on?
Oh, I got hella shit, man. I just been thinking about when I want to release it and what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? This whole Corona shit kind of might be a good time to release music because everybody's just sitting at home in front of their computer or in front of their phone. You know what I mean?
So that's another topic where it's the perfect climate, but for the particular type of artist. And as a fan, this is a fan speaking. You offer it's a lot harder to just listen to your shit passively, right? Like you need to spend time with it. And so climate wise for a particular type of artist, I think for you it makes sense, but for a lot of these niggas that don't have no depth, nigga, I don't.
Yeah, that's true. You talking about turning up and partying right now? It may seem a little inappropriate.
Jesus, nah, bro. I appreciate you. I told you when you hit me on the DM, was like I come on the pod and it was like I was like I'm gonna hit Lock, see if he answers. I was like, this nigga ain't gonna answer. And sure enough, your ass answered the phone. So I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, it's all good, my dude. We need to holler anyway. Outside of this.
Bet.
All right, my brother.
All right. Man, see, that be my problem with niggas. Nah, I'm fucking with you. Nigga had him on the phone and had none of that smoke. Nah, see fuck. Now I'm irritated because I feel like I just got sunned on my own show. Now I'm frustrated. I still disagree.
I think you disagree because you love him.
Because I love Jay Leck?
Yeah.
Because he said everything you were saying.
Yeah, he just said it better because he graduated from Berkeley. I go to Davis.
Don't shit on the UCs like that. Don't do that.
But you know what he sounded like? I speak from like personal experience as just like an artist. Like when you don't record, when you like record it a lot and then you stop, and in your mind you have like this like idea of like what you sound like and how you do shit, and then you go back and there's like a slippage. It's Mike in like '95, right? Like it's like you putting up
Talking about Jay Leck?
Yeah, like you like rapping. I realized this by taking like vocal classes and like trying to become like a singer. Rapping is just as hard as singing. But it's different because like the way like that one song with Drake is like I forgot what song where he's like pronouncing the word two, but he's saying like two, and like doing like little his intonations or his cadences. Drake has a lot of cadences. People say like he's buying styles, but it's not easy to like do things so genuinely.
Okay, let me stop because you off mic and you about to get really in depth. Whatever Locke just said, what you about to say, what Joe Budden was talking about, all these technical niggas, fuck all that, bro. Just go make music. Just go make music and make some shit that stop the world. Just go do that and then talk to me about all your techniques. I don't care. I personally don't care. And that may be a Jay Elect bias. I don't have shit to do with Jay Elect. I'm just from a different school where if me and this nigga in the gym together and I make and this nigga he getting his bag, that's just a sign of respect to me. Right. That's a sign of respect to me. And I can't get past that. He's heard Jay like, nigga, you ain't heard Jay rap like that, nigga.
I mean, the content-wise, the Magna Carta point is true.
But how many? I remember when Locke was like, I don't really fuck with Magna Carta like that. So which one? That's what I'm saying. Which one is it?
But that's the thing, bro. Like okay, Pimp a Butterfly, right? I remember when the album came out, we had a conversation. I was like, man, I was expecting something different, right? As a fan, I was because especially from
Good Kid,
right?
Yeah.
Like especially sonically because he went so live instruments with it. and at the time period of when music was coming out, but that album's like growth on me was way different. And then when he put out Damn, it put Kendrick in this sphere of like, yo, there's never like I love Drake because to me he's the most like impeccable pop act rappers ever produced, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because people fall off usually because of their ego and the fact that he's never like gotten in his own way.
Yeah.
This is getting bigger and bigger. No rapper ever did that.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm someone that always says like I'm not a Drake fan of his music, but I am in awe of what he's accomplished. Right?
Yeah.
And he makes great music. It's just like it's just not for me. Kendrick has done something by trying to not even look at radio at all.
Got you.
Childish has done that, right? Weeknd's got like the conversation y'all were having. Weeknd's got like the reason why they have their, it's like that marginal growth, right? You have your first dose of something, and then like every time you take another dose, how what's the value of each listener, right? Like Pimp a Butterfly, Damn. Every time it's like their margin grows, and that's not what usually happens when you're consuming content in general. That's what makes them special, right? And when you look at someone like Jay Electronica, he kind of put himself, even take away technicality, everything away from it, right? The way his career
Released,
happened,
yeah.
and the release happened so long after, it's like you set expectation. It's like, I'll use another example. The first Avatar movie that came out in 09, I loved it. And everybody loved it. Why? Because of the whole visuals, right? Bro, I was too broke to afford a movie ticket. I saw that shit like on my 13-inch laptop over like a pirated screen. Like someone filmed in the movie theater, right? I love that movie for what it was. That Avatar 2 is never gonna live up to that because it was like what, a decade too late.
That's just a wild statement to make. Like something like just expectations in general, and then expectations from people who wasn't checking for the shit like that either. Locke just proved that theory wrong completely. So I'm not. This isn't in reference to him because I just knew Jay Elect wasn't on that nigga's radar, and this nigga just rapped the whole first 4 bars of Eternal Sunshine. So that's So he's a fan. So he's speaking from a different place, and perhaps Joe is too. And so we talk about this shit all the time. I'm man enough to walk it back. I just, for whatever reason, my brain cannot get past someone delivering, causing this ruckus, delivering something so special, and the niggas who claim to care about the preservation of culture having something bad to say about one of Hove's best performances ever, and the evolution in the man that he is. And
you know what's so special about you, bro? You're able to consume stuff in a vacuum. Like I'm not able to do that. Like
I don't even know what that means.
like you literally, like I don't notice this about you like forever, like in anything, movies, whatever, right? Like you'll literally digest that thing for what it is without like having the input of expectations, the history of the artist.
What's wrong? Is that bad? Am I not supposed to do that?
That's rare, bro. Like,
What?
Like that's a gift. Like I wish I could consume shit like that. Like
I wish we did, cause then I feel confused when I'm like excited about shit. I'm like, nigga, the Gambino shit. Like I genuinely, like I almost didn't post that shit
like
because.
you should be critics because y'all are objective.
But that's why we doing the show.
Because what you're saying about the fact, like yeah, Jay has said that content, but he hasn't rapped with that technique ever. And when you say like, yo, he would to assume that him being in the room with Jay Electronica and him showing off is like a sign of respect is probably true, right?
I don't know how that goes any other way, because I'm not gonna send you, like, if you send me a verse and it's like that, I'm like, nigga, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna get in the bed. Fetal position, nigga. What, nigga? This is what you sending me? Now I got to rap for real? You know, but shout outs, bruh. And I probably should have prefaced it, calling Locke and what Locke means to me. We were talking about that shit before you got here. Like, Locke played Soldiers, for crying out loud. The team, Locke was probably a few teams before you guys. Maybe not that many, actually, but the team before you. And then El Cerrito, like, watching those games, and then a few years later to hear that nigga battling on the radio, bro, and eating niggas. And then we're talking about the Locke disaster battle. I've never commented publicly on that battle because I don't watch battles enough to know. But and I know Disaster is a legend in the battle world, but that shit don't move my radar at all. But I watched that going, Locks eating this nigga. So, but I didn't know if that was my bias. And then Push comes today and he was like, nah, bro, he destroyed that.
Bro, Locke's battle record is impeccable. Like, if he wanted to, he could easily be and the cool thing about Locke, bro, is that he is the only rapper that can out rap the nerdy rappers in King of the Dot and out gun bar the rappers at
That's
Smack.
crazy.
There's no other rapper that has those credentials because he knows he is such like a well-rounded like mind
Yeah.
that like the Pat Stays, the fucking thesauruses of like the King of the Dot to like freaking Sue Surf to even like Tay like the
Tay Rockin', yeah.
Tay Rockin', all them fucking like, bruh, he is an elite MC in every facet of where an MC can be elite.
Yeah, and that's the shit about Locke. Like, I don't like not to. We gonna get off the shit and get out of here, but having like, it's hard not to fight for niggas like that, and not comparing. I don't have a relationship with Jay like I do with Locke, but if Locke's like major label release had Hove on 9 of the tracks, nigga, I'd be standing on the couch arguing with niggas about this being the greatest thing ever. And the reason Hove is rapping so good is because my nigga is in the room with him.
Let's be real, bro. If Locksmith and Jay-Z are in a room together, like, to be perfectly honest, it would probably look like fucking Renegade for a whole album.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fucking fact.
You know what I mean? Because like,
But I think that's also why, as an artist, you personalize that.
He about to say it. He about to say it. Thank you, G. Go ahead.
You look at you got Maki started, man.
Gunshots say shooting. Where we going? Come on, Pop. Come on.
That's PTSD right there, man.
That nigga got up hella quick. They shooting.
Nigga know what's up.
Nah, when you I think this is what you're about to say, G, and this is my point. This is my point with Joe too, because to me, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Joe is an elite MC. He's one of the best to ever do it. Discography to prove it, verses to prove it, side by side performances. We've been on records with the niggas and has outperformed them. So that those exist, and the same with Locke. And I automatically assume because of the trajectory. And Locke can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain that's when his DD 172 situation was popping off. Was right around when Exhibit C dropped. So he was in New York fucking around the scene, got to see what was going on, and everybody's bubbling around the same time. And here this nigga come with one song and break the internet talking about Jay Elect. And it's like, bruh, like we over here with bodies of work. This nigga got one song and y'all automatically crowning him the King Gold MC. Like, come on, man. And so it's this natural edge and this natural jealousy. Like, man, we don't get the fuck out of here with that. And so I personally can't tell if that's what it is for both Locke and Joe, or if it's really they're just elite ass MCs that are going, nigga, that's just not a good performance.
it's the latter, bro.
It's the latter?
It's definitely because they're looking at it like how Kobe would watch a game from the sidelines.
And I don't fuck with that. Like God bless his soul. Kobe's critique and how he approached teammates in the earlier years didn't necessarily work out until he developed a new sort of style with grooming, and so you get the Powells and the Lamars and the Rons of that next run and the Shannons that are like, oh, you've changed your approach to us, and now you can get the best performance out of us as leaders. That's all. So
That part of Kobe's game is a part of him understanding the game.
which one?
Of him understanding like the team, how valuable team orientation is, and all of that. Like that comes with like turning it like you're not elite if like Melo and Russ, right? You're not elite in the sense of the lexicon of what a like a team oriented sport is if you can't incorporate the pieces and make them greater, right? Similarly, like to make an analogy on like as a rapper, if you're not able to take what you do and take all the sonic elements around it and make the sum of the parts greater than the individual.
Like having a feature from one of the greatest rappers ever and making him rap his ass off.
I think y'all got Kobe a little wrong, bro.
What's wrong? What we got wrong about Kobe?
Y'all got Kobe a little wrong, bro. Kobe is by far like one of the most like narcissistic players that you can be. But that's only because of the amount of work that goes into his particular story and game.
Facts.
So when you're that intellectual, that much of a presence in your own, you don't see other people
He's absolutely
on like especially on your team.
Yeah.
So the whole idea that he started bringing people in, that wasn't out of like him wanting to do that. Like that was literally having another like you have to now go into another zone and put another chip on your shoulder and look at, oh shit, well if Shaq's no longer here and Shaq has a title or Shaq is getting the title, then now I have to create this type of battle and like try to figure out. Now I took that away from pushing that on my team and pushed it into another entity. Like that's the only way that he was able to do that. Like,
That doesn't make any sense to me.
there's no other way that he was gonna be able to pull that off.
I think this like because I'm having a revelation on about you in this because it goes back like 'cause when we were talking about this earlier, and I talked about the whole YouTube thing and the concept of narcissism. He's absolutely right, bro. Like for most people that achieve like an elite status, it's through like this like I've invested so much time, I deserve something. Like you develop this narcissism, right? With someone like you, on the other hand, is equally invested just as much time, if not more. But you don't, your ego doesn't grow. Like your spirit, your mind is in such a way that you look at things from such a different way, bro. Like this is why like Sue and like all of us always been like, man, like Monty needs to be a politician, or, like because you have a leadership quality that most people don't have.
I'm still trying to understand what he just said though.
About the Kobe thing, I mean, what he said makes sense to me because when Kobe won the fifth one, the first thing he said was like, "Now I got one more than Shaq," right?
He just passed the buck on to something else. Like he just had to. He took it off of my teammates ain't shit. Your talent is terrible. You're horrible. And when like it had to be something else happening where Shaq won another title. Without him, that narrative is something that Kobe wouldn't be able to sleep at night with. So that's where he's able to switch over, talking bad about your teammates.
I get it.
He has like never winning one and Shaq won one is what motivated him.
He just more than knowing that my teammates ain't shit. Like, bro, y'all still ain't shit, but I'm not gonna tell y'all to your face because I need y'all for right now.
I see.
I see. What did he tell Lamar and all them after they lost in 08? He was like, man, you got to use your dark emotions and shit.
I get what you guys are saying.
Kobe the situation.
No, he's still Kobe. Like, it's just that don't ever get it twisted. Like, it's not like he didn't start liking people. Nah, he still thought that y'all weren't up to his level or to his par. But he just changed. He just changed how he presented that to other people in order to get something from them. And then when he got that, was like, all right, now y'all can go back to y'all just can't keep up with me.
So that neither God bless his soul, neither Kobe or Michael has directly expressed regret about that approach. There, and I could be receiving this completely wrong, so y'all feel free to jump in. But when I watched the Muse, and when I watched Michael's Hall of Fame speech and Michael's Hall of Fame speech and not the service. It's something else where Michael was speaking for a lengthy period, but not the service. I still have it. Maybe, but there's some shiftiness around. Like I won't even use Mike. I'll use Kobe for example. In the Muse, it's like, yo, fam, I didn't know how to make friends because there's a language barrier. We was moving all the time. All these different things that it felt like in hindsight he probably would have done a little different. Like he would have found more of a balance for his that ability that gift of being able to lock in and fixate and have a chip on it, because that's got to be a gift. It's got to be.
Oh, it definitely is. It completely is.
But
that's a part of being that great though. Like I think we kind of get it confused. Like there's more than one way to get to a goal.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So
got you.
It does.
I got you. I'm rolling.
You can come from that angle. You can come from a more empathetic angle. You can come from a more supportive.
It's not
angle.
just one way.
There's so many different ways to get to that goal.
Point case period. I think that's the part I've been missing this whole time. Is there's different ways to get there, and then there's also different ideas or or metrics by which people wrap that up and define it and package it as all. That was the success. I'm going and fuck, man, this is crazy. I'm having a real life.
Completely, but just look at leadership in general though, like, right? So you can be a leadership by conversation. So when you talk, people you can have the ability for people to listen when you do say something. You could be in that way, in a lot of the support that you can say to people, you can bring them along for the journey. You can also be a leader by just shit that you do, and people pick up on it. Like sometimes you're just so tough on somebody, and most people will break. But you may be talking to certain strands that only pick up on that type of leadership quality, I would say. So you need all of those though, because not everybody is the exact same way. Not everybody learns things the exact same way.
That's always my beef is the sort of, hey, here's my template. Whoever don't fit in it, fuck them. That doesn't feel like leadership to me. The true leaders, the Belichicks of the world, go, hey, what we got today? Yeah. All right, nigga, let me figure out an algorithm for whatever is in that room, and lead person to person, captain of your team. You knew your point guard had a different temperament than your big man. You knew the nigga you could go, yo, get your shit together, and you know the nigga you had to go put your arm around in big bro and be like, yo, because you would lose them. That feels like. I know there's different ways and different types of leadership, but that balance and that ability to be what everybody needs, especially when it's a team of 15, that feels like true leadership to me.
Bro, when you have a team of 15, it don't matter how amazing of a leader you are. You need other people to buy in. You don't need the entire squad to buy in. You need the best person that you have to buy in, that then can probably fill in the blanks for where you're not good at communicating it. So even with Belichick, you can say whatever you want. There's no fucking way Bill Belichick would be a great
Without
coach
time.
if he did not have time.
And that's a fact.
There's no way that Phil Jackson could be who he is if he did not. If Kobe or Mike did not buy in.
I'm rolling. I'm rolling with that. But the
rest of the team, no, who gives a fuck?
If
y'all don't play well, my nigga, I will get niggas to replace you. I can't replace Mike or Kobe.
To me, that's the brilliance, though, because there's so many people with ego that go, I don't have no stars. What? Yeah. You do have stars, and that's stars move the meters, are what win games for real. If you got somebody that's taking your message and breaking it down in a way that's digestible for the crew. If you got the head nigga buying in, oh, you good. You good, but it's
the head nigga has to have the strand. Like, you're not coddling the head nigga.
No, not at all.
You are literally building off of the strand of the head nigga's crazy competitiveness.
Yeah,
that's what you get. The rest of the team ain't gonna have that. You can't. You're not gonna put together 15 niggas or whatever amount of niggas.
Which is fine.
Go for it.
Which is fine. I don't need the rest of them, but I need to have the wherewithal to acknowledge and respect and identify the nigga that's the nigga. And it's not enough people that are willing to do that. Like Bill O'Brien and them in Houston this past week. Because you got a riff with DeAndre Hopkins, nigga, you let him walk out the door for nothing?
That shit wild, bro.
That's crazy to me. Like, there's no part of me that can make sense of that amount of ego when you trying to win. Like, at that point, you putting your ego before money and winning.
Yeah, no, that nigga didn't understand black culture, which is nuts. Like, he felt that nigga having his quote unquote posse around is similar to what he saw in Aaron Hernandez.
Bro, that's crazy.
That's sick with it.
And to say that to somebody, to verbalize that, and I don't want to compare the two because it's not even the same. That led us into an interesting conversation where I'm rolling with Lock, y'all now, everybody's different ways to get to different shit. I think for me, and this is a conversation we used to have, and which is another thing that's been disproven on my point. The argument we used to have about show me what you got. What the Wayne versus the Hov version. Me and this nigga would argue to the death about that shit. And he's like, Wayne's is just better. And be like, no, it's not. Wayne wouldn't be able to do it if Jay didn't do it first. And then Jay got when Wayne was on the Drink Champs podcast, it was like, yo, ask that nigga why he make my song better. Like even Jay felt that way.
Now, let's take that example in a vacuum. Why was it better?
That's where I was at, and the vacuum was going.
I tell you, from like Wayne had punchlines, Jay made a song for the club.
That's, but it at the end of the day, hindsight, it was just a brilliant fucking moment. And the one thing I regretted is when I listened to that song by myself the first time before I even got with them, because I got with them later that day. I went, nigga, this shit is amazing. But my ego, when we got together, it was like, nah, nigga. Then you know what I'm saying? So there's so
We
much.
used to have battles about that type of shit.
There's so much of the ego that takes away from the moment. And I think that's where I stopped arguing about the shit that moved me, was because we're losing the moment at this point.
Moment gone.
The moment's gone, and y'all trying to tell me why he could have had a better performance. I'm sorry, there's still shit on the written testimony that I'm going, holy fuck. That's a lot.
And also, bro, like back in the day, like albums were given to like writers, like journalists and critics, like a month before release.
Plenty of time to
you know. So like while you were talking about Childish Gambino, I thought about some like what makes Donald Glover such a dope artist is that in an era where shit is consumed so quickly, he's able to make shit that it's not subjectively timeless, it's objectively timeless.
Yeah.
Because he literally, like when he dropped the Donald Glover Presents, Donald Glover was trending like third at like after like some China shit and then Corona, right? And then when he dropped it again,
push
like,
the
last
button,
night, it
trend it again.
He has like what business would say brand loyalty,
Yeah.
right? So what Jay Electronic from a business perspective, like what fans are experiencing is like their brand loyalty wasn't like really fulfilled.
No,
because of
but
their expectations.
you can kind of say that, but not really, because again, to a certain point, it was fulfilled. Like the niggas that's been there, there's people that's like, yo, what do you he just gonna do Exhibit C of this show for an hour? Oh, I hate JLX shows. It's like every JLX show I've been to has been fucking amazing.
Right.
From a completely different standpoint of like that time, nigga, we stayed there. This nigga brought Dave Chappelle up and they just kicked it all night. It was like an experience that I'll never forget that shit.
And also, like, where's Jay Electronica from?
New Orleans?
And I think, like, when the question that you asked Locke about, like, when are we gonna let go of the standard? Where did the standard come from? New York. That when rap originated in the '80s, like, you know, Brooklyn.
He
what I mean? Like, so,
he
like,
said he didn't pump any. He don't pump fear on anybody on his record. On the record, it's like why is that the stand? I just want a good song. I just want a good song.
I honestly think, bro, like Jay Electronica, I think like a lot of rap's values come from like the '80s and like where it came from, like that whole borough mentality, like boroughs fighting over boroughs, and like where rap has evolved. Like Jay Electronica is probably the only rapper that's considered like an elite rapper that doesn't have like that's probably never said I'm one of the illest MCs.
But he said it. He said it time and time again in just really creative, fly ass ways. But I also say the niggas who are still subscribing to that shit are the niggas who are suffering the most. Right. Atlanta nigga, like we talk about all the time, like the beef and the tension that exists behind the scene in Atlanta is real. Man, the face them niggas put on for the public is beautiful, because you wouldn't be able to tell that a lot of them niggas don't fuck with each other for real and got tension for real. Everybody else, that shit really segregates it and fucks up the money. Jeezy just did a sit down with Charlamagne and was saying how he had that conversation with YG about the shit with him and Mustard.
Young Jeezy?
Yeah. Just had that conversation with YG about the shit him and Mustard were going through. It was like, bruh, y'all gonna let y'all personal shit stop a bag that's gonna change your family lives forever? Right. That be the shit that I can't get past with hip hop and these weird ass unwritten laws that we hang and shit on. It's back to the Drake and Meek shit we were just talking about earlier. I have not been able to get past that Meek shit, because you stopped what everyone was doing to highlight something, and then when this nigga put out the diss record of all diss records, you ain't have no comeback for it.
Coming from a dissing background, nigga, you came, wasn't shit going on in a dissing city.
In a
in a battling city,
yeah.
You can't. You
but
can't,
like their disses are like stone cold shit. Like
you
man,
stopped
like,
everything you were doing to point this out to people that I didn't have these credentials, such and such and such, and they hear what back to back is back to back, bro. I
Nigga,
don't care what nobody
that
say.
stove got so hot. That nigga saw that motherfucker was like, no fucking way.
No, thank you. Because it was the most brilliant shit in the world. I'm gonna make a diss record, but I'm gonna make it something that you gotta hear in the club. And Meek is like, yo, nigga, when that shit come on, nigga, you can't help but bop to it.
And on top of that, Drake then came back, revived his career by giving him a hit.
It's the whole Nas shit.
Yeah.
Like the greatest
And
revenge for
tell
that
that
is
nigga what his
success.
girl was about to do. Hey, bro, if I was Meek, bro, there's no fucking way we could get back.
We
bro.
could be friends after
We
that.
can't get back, bro. I don't care how much bag was in there, bro. I gotta figure out where my bag gonna come from.
But then what did make me get past it and fuck with Meek was like how he then handled that in battle back. Like so it's just this thing where
And low key, Meek brought out the Drake's 444 too.
brought out the dog and Drake.
Yeah, like Drake's next album is gonna be like some inside information that
Drake and Push.
that he been stewing on while he been at the crib over in
Drake
Canada.
Drake and Push. I mean, sorry, Meek and Push the nigga buttons. That's gonna force him. We're gonna get Drake's gonna find if people are still on the fence about Take Care being a classic, which they gotta stop. Take Care is definitely a classic. There's people that still say Drake don't have a classic album. That shit is goofy to me.
Drake got, okay, first of all,
Nah, he has one album.
you got 3 that I'm counting. At least.
He don't have that many.
What three you got?
I gotta tell you right. Okay, I'm about to get some. Okay, first of all, the second one, Take Care. The third one,
Nothing was the same.
And then if you're not reading this, if you don't think that's not a classic, bro, that defined what rap beats sounded like from the moment it came out.
I'm rolling with you on if you're reading this. I'm not gonna call it like Take Care. Take Care is definitively a classic, but I thought you were gonna give us So Far Gone. It's a tape, but it feels like it plays like an album.
Again, if it's retailed, it's an album, bro. The shit was
So Far
retailed.
Gone was it? So far. Are we counting So Far?
So you got 4.
So Far Gone.
Yeah, but no. But
I'm not giving you nothing was the same.
I'm only giving you Take Care, bro, and I'm only giving you Take Care because Toxic Mike was a part of it,
Toxic Mike
but-
and Kendrick
and Kendrick.
and Wayne.
Bro, come on, man. Cheat codes
I
galore.
got a hot take there. Niggas want to be hot take. Ross got the best verse on Take Care, nigga. So say something.
No, okay, I can see that.
Nah, Stacks, Mike. 3 stack.
All 3. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Ooh, but Kendrick verse is crazy.
Nah, bro.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Bro,
We gotta
stop.
stop.
You better stop playing with that boy.
I was waiting for him
You
to
better
say
stop playing
something.
with that boy, man. Because Kendrick never took a bar off in the beginning, bro. Actually, to this day, but even at the very beginning, there was no opportunity that he wasn't taking advantage of. You gotta respect that.
You know what we just did for the listeners?
Geeked out.
Yeah.
We geeked out for like an hour and a half.
I know, my bad, y'all. I didn't mean for it. I definitely didn't mean for it to go there. Salute to Lock, salute to Push, Lex. G, you got anything you want to close with that we missed?
Nah, bro. Everybody be safe. Keep your distance.
Facts.
We trying to have a
They
summer.
showing titties on YouTube?
I guess so.
But see, you're signed in, so you're
Ah.
because
I'm-
they wouldn't let you. If you weren't signed in, you wouldn't have got to see those titties.
Am I tripping or did that sound crazy in the info, G?
I
Bro.
really know.
That shit sounded manny on the
shit
on
sound
the
wild,
headphones.
And that's
Oh.
why you niggas shouldn't give me no mic.
Yeah,
You know
nah.
what I'm saying?
I'm so glad that Lex is mic now.
Oh, that was great.
Thank y'all so much. L came up with a brilliant idea for our 100th this week. Maybe we'll take the week and just gather, have people send in videos so we can then play them next week on the show instead of doing it live. It'd be harder to do it live. So this week, over the next week, y'all call in your thoughts, your feedback, your support, any thoughts you have to share about the show and us reaching our 100th episode. We thank you again. It's been another episode of Meet the Brave.
Love.